Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Here we are once again. Welcome to Look and Live. Could you confirm with us now? Can you hear us clearly? You are here with Pastor James Devallon
and Andrea.
We are so excited to be here right now, and I want to apologize for being late. Technology could be difficult, and there was a lot of other stuff happening at home as well. So you guys are hearing us okay? Is the sound coming through okay? All right, I'm reading the chat to the side here, and let me see if I could put you up on the screen. Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, good. You can hear
All
us
right.
fine.
Thank you for confirming that. Is her name Shelly? Okay. Shelly.
Thank you, Shelly.
Thank you, Shelly.
Welcome, everybody. We're so excited for this discussion, this chat. And it's the first time I've ever done a live stream, so bear with me. And I'm excited for what we're going to dive into, what we're going to learn and grow, and some of the biases that we've all faced that we're going to discuss.
We're going to discuss a lot of
different stuff today. So I'm so excited.
So let me tell you guys what's going on the agenda today. So we don't waste any of your times. So you know what to expect here. We're going to be discussing several things. Definitely, we're going to look at Joe Rogan, the controversy surrounding the use of the N-word. And the big question we're going to have on our table, and we're going to want to read what you guys are saying here, is Joe Rogan racist? We're not saying anything yet. We're just asking question.
And my question with that is, should he be removed from Spotify? Should they take away his voice?
That's a good question. Guys, we're going to get into it. Now, the second thing is this Showtime trailer came out entitled "Everything is Gonna Be All White," not all right, but all white. We're gonna talk about that. Like, what is this about? You know. So I put out some videos, guys. I didn't say much about this. This was intentional because I wanted to get my wife on a live stream, so we are sharing our thoughts. And I know some people misunderstood what I was trying to do. Listen, please. This is where we're going to get the real answers.
And I think with the everything's going to be all white, again, I think the question that we have to ask, is this promoting unity or is this creating more division?
Guys.
Like, we have to start to look at the real issues, the foundation of what it is that people are putting out there, what they're saying, what they're looking for you to take in.
Yeah.
And this is what we have to start basing our judgments and our opinions on. Is this for growth? Is it for positive change? Or is it to keep people in a state of condition where they just keep us from being unified?
Yeah,
division. Yes, the division mindset versus the unity mindset.
That's right. Good afternoon, Max Stevens. Thank you for being here once again. Quickly, guys, for those of you who are watching, can you tell us where you're from? Tell us where you're from. Give us a shout out. What city you are from. I should just state. I would say what state you from, and tell us one thing about yourself too. That would be nice. Tell us one thing about yourself. We are both in ministry, and we have 4 children.
Propaganda, that's right.
Right. We are both in ministry, and we have 4 children.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So that's one thing about us. So tell us something about you, if you don't, and nothing too private. Keep it simple. So let's go back to look at some of what our agendas today is. The next one we're gonna be looking at, last but not least, is because you guys requested that, and we are excited for that one.
This House by Tom.
Listen, This House by Tom MacDonald.
Wild.
I mean, come on, fire! But we're gonna give you a real reaction here. Collectively, we looked at the video separately, and we're gonna come out and combine our minds collectively based on what we think Tom is talking about in the song. Let me tell you guys, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one.
I'm so excited for this one.
Okay, so we have a number of people here.
Massachusetts, Paris, Arizona, Minnesota, Fort Worth, South Louisiana.
That's right. Okay, Tanya
North
Gray,
Carolina.
you're from Florida. Nice.
Any Pennsylvanians in the house?
Any Pennsylvanians from the house here?
We're in PA.
Anybody in PA? Because we from, anybody from PA here? Make us feel a little bit extra special.
Congratulations, Christopher Robinson. 10 years clean. That's awesome.
That's awesome. And guys, I also have an announcement to make here, and my wife didn't know about this announcement. While you guys are putting down your location here. Sorry, I had to work. Can't wait. Okay. So now listen, guys. Today is my wife's birthday. Right in the spot.
I didn't think he was going to say that. So we're going to leave that go. Yes. Big
Today
4-0.
is her birthday. Oh, you want to share it too?
Yes, I don't mind.
She's
Why not?
She big 4-0.
My Lancome has me looking about 35.
Ohio, nice to have you here. So, Drea, happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you for being such an awesome woman. Not only a mother to our children. Thank you for putting up with a guy like me.
You're
I
so
love you
sweet.
for being the person you are and just the support. Just love you. I mean, the Hug Over Gang family loves you.
Hangover gang.
Hangover Gang.
See,
Guys,
I know your family better than he does.
Hug is HOG. That's actually a hashtag as well. But Hangover Gang, that's what it represents. So, guys,
Yeah, Hangover Gang.
I got a long way to go. Please work with me. I love you.
We're working.
All right. All right, guys.
Thank
Happy
you guys.
birthday.
Thank you for all the birthday wishes.
Yep.
I'm so excited. And there's no
She
place
is
I'd rather
40.
be.
She is 40.
40. There's no place I'd rather be than to be here with you all breaking down stuff, because to me, you know, I'm halfway there.
By the way,
I'm good just living until 80. Look, I have to stop. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be here on my birthday, because I think that's what we're supposed to be doing on birthdays and milestones, just revelating and being and reflecting and just being at a point. So I'm so happy to be here with you all. Thank you for accepting me in. I know I have a different viewpoint. So I have a different viewpoint as a basis, but then I have a whole viewpoint that is all about unity. So when you hear me speak, understand that while I do believe that there is racism, just to say, absolutely, I believe that. I also believe there's a bigger picture to it, and there is a propaganda with the way that they discuss and the way that they review racism. So I won't start.
So guys, quickly, I want to acknowledge Gia here for the super chat. We appreciate you. For those of you who don't know, we are working on remodeling the studio so we can have more of these discussions, guys. We want to actually eventually open a phone line where I can hear your voice.
Absolutely.
That's going to be exciting to hear what you have to say, even correcting us. You know, thank you, because I want to quickly say, reading the chat room is almost like going back to school 101. These people know what they're talking about. Some of you are very intelligent. Y'all took us back and give us almost
David
like
Phillips.
y'all took us back and take us back into who's you congratulating now?
David Phillips, South Mississippi, alcoholic for 20 years, lost everything twice. Haven't had a drink in over 6 years. Now I'm clean, work, 2 preachers, soon to be baptized. Praise God.
Praise God. Thank
and
you, David.
1968 in the house. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Any by the way, so we want to say thank you for your comments, for educating us and showing us a side of the story that we didn't know, and we appreciate it. Even if we don't say anything, believe me, we are reading this stuff. Sometimes I spend hours going through each one. So if you get a thumbs up from me and a heart, that means we are paying attention to what you're saying, okay? So we appreciate you. Put them down there. And again, Tonya Gray, we want to say thank you for that super chat. And by the way, guys, listen, we got to get to the heart of this thing. I'm ready to discuss the matter. So,
and I just want to quick add in. If we don't heart your stuff, do not think that we have overlooked your comment or we feel a certain way about your comment. What I want to really, really hone in on is the fact that I know for me personally, I have always been a person who understands there are 2 sides to every story. Right. And so your thoughts, your comments, we're not judging. This is a safe zone. I think that's one thing that sometimes when people are talking, if you don't follow what their mindset, their opinion, your safe zone gets squelched. You don't feel comfortable and confident to intervene, to interact and to say what really is on your heart. We want hardcore, honest truth, because that's the only way to really learn to live in love, to live and understand each other, and to grow. Having that growth mentality that my husband was talking about in our last video is so important. And it doesn't mean that you have to agree. No. It just means that and it doesn't even mean that you have to respect what a person says, in the sense of, like, if it's something that's just debased and ignorant, like, we're never going to say, like, oh, okay, that's okay for murder. That's just a simple one, but then there's people that, again, there's so many different avenues this thing goes. So I just want to say, hands down, this is a safe zone. And please feel free to share your comments freely, openly, honestly, and to all those others in the chat. Please be kind with your responses because you don't know what a person experienced, what they went through that caused them to gain this current thought process that they're in. And it takes time to break old patterns and ways of thinking. And it takes time and knowledge, and that's what we're here for.
That's what we are here. We are here to learn. And by the way, we don't acknowledge you guys in the chat here. I am an older, okay, I see. Renee, okay, I'm older than...
Tess, but younger than Mike.
I love that.
Hey, girl.
So glad for it. Fabulous at 40. Yes, she is.
Oh,
Not
so
only
sweet.
fabulous,
Lancome.
but
This is
beautiful.
Lancome. So I'm going to give a shout out to Lancome, the makers of Lancome.
We are reading some of your comments here. All right, different is good. The only way. That's right.
Exactly.
Thank you guys. We appreciate that. So we want to acknowledge you. So continue to talk to us here. So we're gonna get to the heart of this thing.
Yes.
So
let's get
we're gonna
started.
begin with the Joe Rogan controversy here, guys, because this is really something that is brewing over the
Absolutely.
internet. And the big issue is we're not gonna play the video because the video just doesn't tell the whole story.
Exactly.
And I refuse to put a negative image on Joe. I'm going to be honest from the onset. I am not a big supporter of Joe. I do agree there are some things he says that are wrong. But I love people. I love Joe despite of the fact I disagree with him on Christianity. There's some things he said that are really far way off. But nevertheless, I appreciate his honesty. When you listen
Yes,
to him,
that's
you
what
can
we're
actually
about.
learn something. And he goes against the grain a little bit. And he's,
We're on the East
he's
Coast.
growing tremendously. So with that being said, the big controversy now is that Joe used the N-word, and they did a compilation video of him saying that over 12 something years in his podcast, and they compiled that together and used that as a mean to say that this man is racist. Keep in mind, he never actually used it to actually call the person the N-word. He's only quoting, sometimes reading lyrics or saying somebody said this, but he's just taking it from the
So,
mouth of somebody else.
Let me just say and be very clear. He has never called someone the N-word.
No.
Okay.
And there are a lot of yous who are Joe Rogan's fan here. You can talk to us. You listen to him more than I do. I've listened just a few stuff from him. I can understand his mindset. And the fact is, do I believe Joe Rogan is racist? I did put out a video and I kind of asked questions. I'm going to be honestly frank with you guys. I do not believe Joe Rogan is racist. And we're being very real. You're hearing this from a black minister, Christian, honest. I'm being honest with you. This compilation does not tell the whole story of the heart of the man. For you to compile a few little things from his statements here and say that is evident enough that this man is racist, you're going to have to go deeper than that with me to convince me.
Absolutely. And what I want to say about that is I only heard of Joe Rogan when my husband told me about what was happening to him. And then I started to do a little bit of research and how people want him to be removed from Spotify. They want him to they want to quiet his voice for what he is sharing. And then this goes back to if you do not fit the narrative or you do not fit how someone wants you to say, this is for Spotify, if they're trying to push this agenda. And while I understand improper use of the N-word can be highly offensive. It is highly offensive. And it is not okay. It's a very derogatory word. Why would you make a compilation video? So you're trying to say, okay, this is our case and he needs to be removed.
Wow.
Again, unfortunately, when we look at the amendments, when we look at freedoms of speech, you cannot do that. What they've done and what they should do is they put boundaries on what a person can and cannot say.
So how much freedom is there really for a person to communicate his views?
Well, and so boundaries meaning there's derogatory, there's
totally
things of that
yeah.
nature that should be addressed and should be like, if we go around everyone saying exactly what they think, a lot of us would be jobless, right? We have bosses, we have people who we work with that we would love to just let them have it sometimes, but we practice a certain level of self-restraint, self-control.
There's a level of professionalism.
And professionalism, yeah.
Applied.
And we do have to be compassionate towards people who may take things in a way that would hurt them.
Yeah.
Because
I want to acknowledge the chat quickly. Stephen Lauren, good comment here. Joe is not racist. He's a realist.
Exactly.
I can actually agree with you on that one here. I feel like apologizing, okay, and has fed the mob blood in the water.
Exactly.
Okay, Dart, I want to quote you quickly here. He messed up by even apologizing. And that is a good point. That is a good point. The thing is, if you didn't do anything wrong, why would you go on to apologize? Now, there could be several reasons for this. There could be death threats. There could be, hey, man, I'm going to, we're going to cut you off. And you know this cancel culture, even though I don't believe it's real. But if they really want to take you out, they can actually do it.
Well, look what they did to former President Trump. They shut him off of Twitter, correct?
Yeah.
So when you look at these things, now what is that saying? I understand that it's not okay but I think the bigger point is, like my husband said, he did not actually call someone the N-word.
No.
He actually didn't say like, oh, that over there.
It causes you to wonder, though, if it wasn't so much about Joe, what is it exactly they had an issue with him about? Because Joe may be just the face that they trying to get rid of something else behind Joe. And what I'm thinking is maybe Joe's position on the vaccine, when you hear his view, he's totally against it.
That's what I wanted to touch on.
There were some other reasons that this is coming against him.
So
it's
now,
not so much about the N-word.
That's what I wanted to touch on. I'm so glad you brought up that point. He said that young people do not need to be vaccinated.
By the way, Mike, we want to acknowledge you here. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate what you do. Yeah.
And
I want to let's read what he says here. This is so significant.
This is what Rogan said. He's quoting it. There is no context that word can be used by a white man. Questions spring up. Should motives like blazing Sadie's roots, Django have not been made? And are those white actors racist? It's not, and that's exactly it. I totally agree. I totally agree. And what he should have done was just, instead of I understand the apology for people who took it out of context, but he shouldn't be apologizing for what he said. If he was speaking in regards to or what someone else said, I didn't see all of this content. I just know that what is happening here, they found something that they know people will jump on. The race card is huge right now. The race, like using race as a means of creating division, shutting people down. Because there's so many people who have different viewpoints on the vaccine that they can't use that. But when you use race, oh man, it blows up. It blows up. So they're using that because I believe, this is just a personal opinion, because they don't want him to continue, because now they have to, Spotify has to talk about, being COVID cautious when you're speaking about COVID, when you're speaking about things. And he had on an anti-vaccine guest on his show. Yeah. So now all of a sudden they can do this compilation, and maybe a black person's talking about it, but behind the scenes you really have to wonder who pushed it. Yeah. Who pushed for it?
Listen to this, all right? The popular Spotify show has come under fire for helping. This is coming from the Daily Beast, guys.
Conspiracy.
For what? For helping spread COVID-19. There goes the real heart of the issue. It's not about the N-word. The N-word was just a mean to an end. And again, there it is right there.
Exactly.
For his So you know what? You're gonna go in my past life. You're gonna dig up my dirt.
Yes.
And put it in my face.
How many
years?
I've
been saying it for all this time. You never said anything about what I was saying.
It's an agenda.
But all of a sudden now, I should be either reprobate or rebuked or sat down or canceled just because there is a reason. You need to find a reason to get rid of his mindset. And that is what I have an issue with. I may not agree on Joe on many things, but when it comes to freedom of conscience, the ability to speak your mind, the ability to believe what you believe as a person, listen, man, I'll fight for that. I'll fight along with Joe with that with this concept, because I value these things. So these are the things that we're looking at. So again, we can go on, and I think the Daily Beast has a really good article here we need to look at, guys, because they're kind of showing the other side of the story that is not being put in the forefront of our eyes. So I would like to hear, guys, what do you guys think about this controversy? And I want to read your chat now, because this is when your opinion matters. We want to hear honestly what you guys think. Okay, they don't want Joe. All right, I'm looking at Debbie Do. You say they don't want Joe to ask questions of the establishment.
There was another one there that said they fear. He has someone said that he has 11 million followers that listen to him daily, and they fear that his influence of what he's spreading, the truth that he's spreading. And I cannot agree with that anymore. simply because you look at, we were talking about the music industry and what they are sharing, what they're showing. We were talking about what the influence that the music industry has on the family.
We're going to put that on your screen quickly, guys. So while you're looking
This is where the war needs to be waged. Not at someone saying the N-word. Mm-hmm. Like, come on. I think there's a time where we have to, like, move past. He said the N-word. He wasn't calling someone the N-word. But, okay, fine. If you want to fight about that, let's talk about our music industry.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
There should be a war waged against these drill rappers.
These drill rappers that are promoting all kind of violence,
hatred.
You know what I heard about drill rappers? Some of them talk about the violence that they just committed the day before they recorded the videos.
Absolutely.
In some cases, some drill rappers will go as far as actually take pictures and recording of the person that they just shot on the floor and put that in their videos.
There's all these artists that have died because of this.
Cops are going to their videos to actually use
them as evidence. Exactly. So we have Pop Smoke, King Von. These people died because of violence through rap music. It is very linked to it. You see all these discussions that one person talked about another person, and then there's these wars out here. Well, that's what we need to be going after.
And the thing is,
that's what we need to be fighting
Joe should
against.
be the least of our problems.
Do you understand?
Because we have bigger problems in our communities
exactly.
here. Okay, so when you look at what is really going on in our communities, if these guys really were concerned about protecting people, the N-word, or the black community, they will go after some of these artists and some of these actors who are promoting all kind of evil in our neighborhood and polluting our communities with blood and destroying the lives of our youth. That's what they should be dealing with.
Yep.
And the thing is, that's not what they're focused upon.
Yep.
It's a shame.
And this is where, so the focus needs to be on the violence, the stuff, the issues that are really breaking up homes, really causing people to go out and create violent acts. They are literally going out because of this music.
Yep.
And they are having there's violence.
Remember the time when
people being
you remember
murdered.
the time when, I mean, drill music, we definitely have to have a talk on drill music in the next
on its own,
on its own discussion. You remember the time when music was gangster rap was, I used to be a gangster in my past. I used to do those things in my past. Mm-hmm. But these guys don't talk about that life as a past. They're talking about it as I'm living it right now.
This is what I'm living. And not to say that there always wasn't violence, but when you see where it's come from, when you see the negative impact that as this music is continuing to grow and become more popular and our young people are trying to emulate the behaviors that are being the behaviors and the attitudes and the mindset, get money, get money, get clothes, get cars, get houses, kill anyone who opposes you. Not fist fights anymore. Not honest, like
that's old school.
Communication.
That's old school.
No. This is kill that person. Their life no longer matters. So we're so focused on Black Lives Matter, which I'm sorry, I said it.
It's an issue.
We're so focused on, and these things matter. But what about the stuff that is really happening? The stuff that is really increasing the murder rates. When you look at, I know in our last video, one gentleman had put in a comment the actual rates of crime, and it was black on black crime that took the top. Black, as far as people murdering
so
each
if you
other.
really want to save our communities, you need to go to these black communities where these things are happening.
We really
and
need
finding
to
ways
attack
to address the
industry.
issues.
Attack the music industry.
But they're not going to do that, though.
Stop
That's
attacking
not really
this
the goal.
Rogan gentleman because he said the N-word and how many years, but you really are mad at him because of his influence over the vaccine. You're really mad at him regarding his influence about other stuff, what the influence and the power that he's bringing, because he's opening up minds to see
the other side of the story. And the thing is, while I do not agree with Joe on everything, again, I'm gonna say it, guys. The thing is, they can't deny the fact Joe does have a good point on many of these stuff.
I like this comment here. It says, someone was, where'd it go? Sorry, we're not keeping up with the comments. I said it's my first time. I'm so nervous. I don't even have my brain on straight. Let's
You're doing
see.
great.
Yeah. Okay. I've chatted with someone that said they were offered money to throw bricks on the camera for protests.
Okay, so that's coming from Tessie Mystic. Okay, Tessie Mystic 420.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's see what else.
Those words remain.
But basically, yeah. So, I mean, keep putting in the comments. Sorry, like I said,
Thank you, guys. We are reading your comments. By the way, we will acknowledge you. What about our government handing out crack pipes? Whoa.
Exactly. Hello. Absolutely. And I don't know if you're talking about the vape pens. I don't know if it's a real crack pipe.
I need to look into that.
Explain crack pipes.
So tell me some more about this.
Yeah,
guys,
Lydianne, thank you.
Can you put a link or anything of any sort? Because we can make this part of our discussion next time. These are things we need to know about because we got to talk.
So, yes, Black Lives Matter, but the leaders are Marxists and they want to destroy families. That's the whole point. Keeping people in this, I'm victimized, I'm debased, I can't come up because of you. No. That's not an acceptable. Like, yes, I believe that there are racial issues that are still present today. But I also believe that if there's a greater strive to not focus on those issues, what you focus on is what you become. So if you're going to focus on the negative issue that you believe is still impacting you today, well, that's where you're going to live. That's not growing. That's not maturing. That's not going to bring forth anything good for your children to come. So now we look at what's coming, our generation's coming. And so now we're growing a generation of angry people at the government for stuff that has happened years ago. Now we're making compilation videos of someone who said the N-word.
Can you imagine they make a compilation
video? And never
video
even call of what we've done.
Of my life.
Of my life. Exactly.
Boy.
They'd be like, girl.
You guys, you will not want to talk to me right now. You will cancel me not only from the world, you cancel me from your mind. Because I'm like, wretched man that I am. You know what I'm saying? So who are we to go and dig somebody else's dirt and throw it in their face?
Whatever happened to growth, maturity? When's the last time? Forgiveness. When's the last time he said the N-word? Do we know?
It's been years.
Does anyone know?
He even said himself, he hasn't said it in years, well over than 7 years.
Oh, really?
So he himself realizes his own conscience is telling him, I shouldn't even repeat that because I'm realizing it's not really a good thing. It's a
whole kit. Okay, here we go. It's a whole kit with needles and... Oh, you know what?
Are you serious?
It's a whole kit with needles and crack pipes. Apparently, it's to help... You do that. To help not spread COVID by sharing. You know what? Because there is a place in Philly, Kensington, where you are able to freely and openly do drugs. And the police just monitor and they kind of just parole, but you can go sell drugs there. You can do drugs there. I have a friend who I was working with, and he was doing a video because he wanted to go out and just see like how this whole thing works. So now they have safe areas for drug use.
That is disturbing.
I don't know how I feel about that.
That is disturbing.
I don't know how I feel about that. So here we go. We have gang violence, violent music that is just disgusting. We have whoredom music, and this is who they're getting Grammys and they're winning awards for literally teaching our daughters to go out and whore. I mean, for lack of a better word.
So
I've done it before, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not putting them down. But what are we promoting? What are we saying? Oh, this is proper character. This is how we can behave. This man, years ago, said the N-word, and now he's being chastised. And now they want to cut out his voice. There's a bigger picture to that. Many of you know it. So what do we do? How do we fix this? What do we do? I don't know Joe Rogan's typical day-to-day platform, what he stands for. I just heard from my husband.
He challenges the status quo. He has one of those. I wouldn't say he's a conservative or a liberal. He seems to be more like a free thinker or realist, the person who's just calls things for what they are, and he speaks his honest opinion on them.
Wait, pause. Last time he said the N-word, he was quoting Biden. Wow, that says a lot.
Biden did say, if you don't vote for him, you're not black.
And that's all a scam. Okay. I don't even know how to say it. And then we have Camilla, and so now it's Black Power. It's just not true. I guess I'm
not black, right? So anyway,
it's not true. On. So here's my thing with that. You're 100%. Just watch.
We're reading your comments here. Let's put the comments on the screen so we can see.
Just watch certain words in chat so the live doesn't get shut down.
I agree. Let's be very careful with that. They actually do. The algorithm literally can pick up on that and shut you down.
Kingston looks like a zombie movie. It's sad. So, and this is what I want to know. Like, why the focus on what someone's doing? Like, why can't we focus on what's really happening today?
Thank you, Leah Underwood. He is a classical liberal. I got it.
Okay.
That's the terminology. Okay. Makes perfect sense. Yeah. All right, guys. We're going to move on to part number 2 of our discussion here, guys. We're going to talk about this. Yeah. What is this about? So we're going to be discussing this a little bit, and we're going to pause here, watch this video, and at the end, we're going to give our reaction. Is that okay, guys? Listen, this might offend a lot of you, so I will say maybe this is the time you turn the volume down if you don't want to hear some of this. But again, we're going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
What we think on this. So let's watch it together without pausing it, and at the end, let's talk. So
can I quick ask, can you, if you're comfortable enough, when you give your response and your reactions, if you can say what race you are in the comment. I mean, obviously we're black.
Yeah.
He's Haitian. So he's even, he didn't grow up in America. So I'm sorry putting you out there. But yeah, so he's from Haiti.
They know it already, so that's fine.
I'm from America. I grew up in in the outskirts of the city, went to primarily white schools. So I think we both have a very different view. Mm-hmm. And so we know you all will too. A lot of times our experiences kind of shape our thinking, and this is why we're here to learn, grow, and move forward. So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it, guys.
This is different.
Let's watch this thing together, and then let's do a little bit of discussion after that. All right, we got my headset on. All right, we're all reading the comments top left. All right, let's do this.
I think what annoys me most about white people is when they pretend like they're the victim. What's also annoying is when they kill us.
What is fragile about whiteness when everything has been constructed around it?
Every part of who I am has been distorted or criminalized.
It's really just a bunch of white lies.
We're storming the Capitol!
You're not patriots. You're ridiculous.
One of the definitions of American whiteness is ignorance.
White people, we are not your problem. You are.
Should white people today feel any responsibility for slavery?
Hell yeah.
White Jesus or black Jesus?
Jesus was not white.
Think of geography. Ain't no way Jesus walked around with blonde hair and blue eyes.
White culture fears the end of the world. For us as Native people, the end of the world already happened like multiple times.
Symbols and monuments, these are mementos of racism.
Bring that statue down. Put up a TCBY yogurt or something. Everybody can get behind.
The truth has to be told about history.
We have to make sure that these stories are told from our perspective.
There's always hope. You know what I'm saying? We don't give up.
It's about obliterating systemic and institutionalized racism.
This is a wild place, y'all. It's a wild place. I know Harriet and Frederick be up there just like, what is they gonna do?
Do we need a minute to pause and gather our thoughts here?
Process.
Well, quickly before we say anything, guys, Mike, Tad, Crosby, thank you. Best thing about this trailer is the comments and ratio. That should give everyone hope. P.S. I'm white. Thank you, Crosby. Appreciate that, Crosby. Wow. So have you gathered your thoughts so far?
Wow.
The first question I want to say is, what is this about?
Wow.
Where is this going? What is his purpose?
So one thing I'll say that I learned when I was in my world cultures class was that there were a series of books in the South that made slavery seem like it made it seem like it was a kind and compassionate relationship that the slaves had with their masters. So that was impactful for me in that from what we know about slavery, there was nothing really kind and compassionate. It's they worked in the fields and they enjoyed their relationship with their masters. And there's books. I don't know what they're called, but I think that was something that I felt like that was wrong, to give an improper and to give the wrong, I don't know how to explain it. I can't find words, but basically to give the wrong idea of what slavery actually was. So we have history, right? History runs through America's veins. It runs through the world's veins. And history needs to be delivered in a way that it's raw, it's real, and it's authentic.
Yeah.
So we're not going to try to change history.
Against that. Yeah.
I'm not against that at all. So I'm trying to figure out what the goal is here, because this sounds more like an attack on white people and like in your face type of thing. So what is the goal? What is the narrative that they're trying to push forth, that white people are just bad people and white people have all the authority and they've built this country around white people? This is what it sounds like they're saying, where I would say we do know that slaves existed amongst all races and all cultures. We do know that slavery itself was horrific and it was a huge atrocity. And then we also know that there was the Japanese Americans, there was the Native Americans, who after my world culture class and just digging deeper into that, I actually felt worse for the Native Americans. And unfortunately, I don't hear them the way that I hear Black people.
I want to comment on that quickly, but I want to say one thing. Again, the goal is, what are you trying to do with this information here? The trailer doesn't tell the whole story, so we can't really
what is the
we
goal
can't really
here?
run with this trailer because there might be more than what we are hearing here. But the thing is, what is the goal? When you're dealing with a situation such as sensitive as it is, and you put something out like that, where are you trying to go with this? And the second thing I have to ask is this: without even looking at the documentary, which is not even out yet, but this trailer is getting enough heat to the point where they even turn off the comments. So here's the thing: let's imagine, right? A bunch of Caucasian people, white people, they make a video and put it on YouTube, and they highlight everything that might be wrong with some of the black community. They say Black people do this, and they are the gangsters, they are the this, they are the, and some of the stuff they might be saying are true. So, what do you think the response is going to be from the black community and the world at large?
They would get the documentary shut down.
Oh my goodness! I don't even think he will make it on YouTube. He will even get it uploaded. YouTube will shut it down before he gets uploaded.
I think they have a plan.
Do you guys see what I'm saying here?
The plan here, because it's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make sure history is clear, it's concise, and it is remembered. This is why we have Veterans Day. This is why we have President's Day. All these things were super impactful, and some of our history is bad. We have the Holocaust. We have the Holocaust Museum. We have the Black History Museum. So we have all these things because people do need to know what their history is. A lot of issues come from, and even myself, I want to know more about my history. I want to know more about my people and other people and what other people have experienced. I absolutely loved my world cultures class.
Quickly, Leah Underwood, I think you're right. This series is designed to continue to divide.
Exactly. This is just a divisive mechanism that they're using, again, to promote this black versus white, because there's not just black people and white people in America. I understand what black people went through, and I'm with you. I understand it. I am black. I've experienced nigger on my food trays and being alone at school because I just didn't fit. My hair being talked about, being called a grease machine. Like, I experienced all of those things. I experienced someone saying, I bet she doesn't buy anything when I walked into the store. I've experienced racism on many levels. I'm a nurse. I walked into a room just a couple weeks ago. They said, oh, finally housekeeping's here. Just the thought process of how people think when they see black people. Sometimes they don't necessarily see us as being capable. I think that's true. But now here's the question. Why do I think it's true? I think it's true in some cases because, number one, we keep promoting these division. We keep promoting it by keep talking about how much we're oppressed, how much we're being put down. I'm telling you, if you leave it alone, out of sight, out of mind, and just focus on doing you and doing what it takes to, I believe that there are forms of systemic racism that exist. The Jim Crow laws, they were put into place to be able to filter through and to keep some people from being able to obtain jobs. I worked for a company, Nurse Family Partnership, which was a phenomenal company, and we would receive a lot of donations of books. So we got these books, and the books talked about emotions. So we would go see first-time pregnant moms, and we would help them rear their children. So these books talked about emotions, and every emotion that was attached to a negative emotion had a brown or black child in it. And all of the positive emotions was a white child with red hair,
so in that
blonde
sense, you
hair,
see that concept of systematic racism right in there.
Yeah, and some of the children's books and different things. So there is, I do believe, but I also believe
is still there. Yeah,
I
can understand it.
I also believe though that you don't have to give out the book, right? Because and the person who showed it to me actually was a white woman.
By the way, thank you, Deborah, for wishing my wife happy birthday.
Thank
here.
you.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
No, we should not be judging historical actions using modern ideas, morals, and ethics.
Yeah,
Wendy, I agree. Hands
you're also
down.
on point. I was gonna say,
That's the
guys,
problem.
you mentioned something about the Indians, the indigenous people, right?
Yeah.
Here's something I've learned in my studies. Did you know that they themselves actually not only had slaves among themselves, but they used violence to conquer many other tribal Indians in the land,
in their own,
of their own.
Yeah.
So when this was done, although I'm not justifying what was, I'm not justifying what was done to him. What I'm saying is it was a very normal thing back then to wage war. Who has the big guns, who has the bigger muscle, wins the battle. It was a normal thing. It's like a territorial type of war. I'll go there, I'm stronger than you, and I'm kicking you out, and I'm taking over. It's not good from either side, but the point I'm trying to say is that was a very normal mindset then.
Well, it just runs through and through history.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at how people conquered the world. Alexander the Great, like there was a conquering, there was that. So now, have we acknowledged? It's about acknowledgement. It's about being able to say, okay, these things happened in history. What is the growth mindset?
Okay, Pi Nova, you said something here that is so good. You said trailers like these are actually polarizing and burn bridges.
Yes.
As a result, it gives the impression that they don't want to resolve issues.
No, they
want power over. They want power over and above. It furthers the divide. Listen, can I quote you a little bit here? That was so on point. You just summarized everything we're trying to say here in a single paragraph. I appreciate that.
Yes,
well
every
done.
country has...
We want to acknowledge JCIBME. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, guys. And we put you on the stand. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for the birthday wishes still.
We appreciate it.
I want to talk about what Shannon Lasky said. Every country has history. It's history. Let's talk about what's going on now. We have history. We have our days to celebrate history. We have time. We have months to celebrate history. It is time to move forward, people. It's time to let go of hurt and pain. The problem with people letting go, so what we understand about ourselves is, right, we're humans with our emotions. When we don't let go of something, what does it do? It festers, it eats us up, it takes us from being able to be productive, right, in our own selves, just as a human being. So when we hold on to things that are negative in our life or that have happened to our past, we understand what those consequences bring. You can become internally sick. You become unproductive, you become dark, you become irritable, all those different things. So what is the difference when we're as a society, as a country, as communities, holding on to pain, wanting to make sure we splatter the pain in everyone's face so they see like, hey, this is what I've been through. You need to do this for me. You need to understand what I'm going through. You need to understand how I feel. Okay, so what do we do to help you understand, to help everyone understand how you feel? How do we move forward? Where are we going with this? What is the point in this? They're laughing. They're saying, do white people need to be responsible for what happened years ago? At this point, What are we doing to move forward so that we can start to build bridges instead of burning bridges, like the comment said?
Yeah. Guys, I want to share a quote with you here very quickly. But one thing I want to say, just on top of what my wife is saying here.
I love this quote.
There's a concept, right? The real issue at the heart of these documentaries, what I see, coming from a Christian perspective, is the spirit of unforgiveness. Did you hear what I said? Mm-hmm. It's really true. It's actually at the root of all of this. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that we should acknowledge our history. I agree with what my wife said. It makes perfect sense. We do need to speak about these things, but we also have to look at the history as a whole, not just the portion that associate my race. There's much more to that than a little documentary here. So we have to look at all that aspects of it. And the thing is, we have to really look at is
Mike
right underneath.
Cosby has a great point here.
Okay, what did you say, Mike?
Bigotry is based on misconception. Bigotry can be fixed through example or discussion. Racism is much harder to fix. And I agree with that.
You're right.
I agree hands down with that. Mm-hmm. Bigotry would be like, we know what bigotry is, right? Mm-hmm. Racism, I believe, and I totally agree with you.
Chuck Summon. You see, Chuck, you understand me, my friend.
What did he say?
He says healing can't happen until the pain is forgiven.
Exactly.
Chuck,
that's where
can I use you as a baseline here to share my quotation now? Listen, guys. This is coming from. Listen, I'm not promoting.
Pause. James Brown, MLK once said, "The doctrine of black supremacy is as evil as white supremacy." That's what it is, and what ultimately is happening.
I have never heard.
They're saying
black supremacy before.
And the doctrine of black supremacy is basically like. So what they're saying? Black people just want to be put on this podium, put on this platform to say, this is what happened to me. Look at this. See me, hear me, feel me, understand me. Okay, so once we do, then what?
Where do we go from here?
Because you're what is your motive? What is the motive? What is it that you're trying to gain? What is your final goal, your final outcome with all of this? I believe there's racism. I mean, it's obvious. We all have stuff and stereotypes and different things within us that we have to check ourselves sometimes. Every race has it because we grew up in a society that is just different people, different ideas, different thought processes, and there was racism. There's a lot of racism built in to America and into the world.
By the way, Leah, you said, have you seen Larry Elder's documentary Uncle Tom? I need to check that out. So put a link on the put a link below.
Yes,
that's correct. Yeah, Mike again, you are not born racist. You are only taught
and
to be racist.
Taught through the media.
Absolutely, Mike.
Taught through what our parents teach us. Taught through society. Taught through just how people interact with each other.
Let me share your testimony, because for those of you who don't know,
Did you read the quote yet?
No, not yet. But here's the thing, and I think it's still gonna connect to the quote. Absolutely. So here's the thing. Somebody from our church, again, we overseeing a church. We are assistant. So there's the senior pastor and I'm the assistant pastor, and my wife and I, we work together. We primarily deal with the youth, but again, it's a majority of them are Caucasian. Okay, one of them came to me after the service and came to me and said, James, I have to be honest with you. And this was during the time when the racist stuff, the racial wars, and George Floyd, the death of George Floyd and everything, right? So he came to me understanding what's happening in the world, and he said something to me that was very telling, right? And here is this man who never even thought that. He said, James, did you know that I was actually raised and taught to be racist by my parents?
Wow.
I would have never thought. And this is a guy who will hug you and everything.
Yeah.
And he says, I had to it was not easy for me. So what I'm trying to say is, understand the mindset of those who are racist. It's very good to understand. It's not like many of them love being racist. Some of them, like you said, Mike, they were taught to be racist. Okay. And what he said, James, is like, I had to fight against this mindset. It took a relationship with Jesus to come to the point to see people as people. And again, being raised that way, it was not an easy thing to stop looking at someone as being less than me because of the color of their skin. It is something that it was ingrained in me as a child. And I can look at you, James, as a black pastor, and I can love on you now because I see through the eyes of Jesus, you have more value than the color of your skin. That was very deep for me. And he was being very honest. And the truth is, I know this man, there is not even a vein of racism in him. That's how loving and kind he is.
So now when we try to lump some white people, white people,
yeah,
and then when they lump some black people,
Cheryl,
we get upset. Don't we get upset?
Cheryl,
right?
We want to acknowledge you here. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for that. I just want to say I'm so glad we can all come together to discuss these things. Thank you for providing this space. I was late to the stream. Happy birthday. And guess what? I'm just glad you're here. I am just glad you're here once again. We plan on doing this once a week, guys. So
and listen,
keep us in your prayer.
Those of you who have talked about Tom MacDonald, oh my goodness. If this man isn't one who's standing for truth and unity, and if they're not trying to make him seem like he's this racist person, it's insanity. So I just sometimes sit back and think, what are these people seeing that they call this man a racist? Like, I am black, and I am a person who believes that there is racism in the world.
Yeah.
When I hear something that is racist, I believe that I pick up on it.
That's just
There's nothing racist that he's saying.
I have not seen
There's nothing racist that this Joe Rogan is saying. What? Show me real race. If you want to see real racism, you can find it.
It makes no sense. Not what not to go back into Joe Rogan. It's almost like this is the thing. Here goes a word. Here goes a word, right? So let's call this the word. I have it. I can use it when I want, say it when I want. But if I hand it to this Caucasian person, automatically you are styled as an evil individual. But it's the same word. In other words, the word in itself and the meaning and the intent of the word shouldn't change or define the person who holds it, right? So the point is,
Steve Lauren, I deserve the chance to show you I'm not part of the problem, and you owe it to yourselves. We have so much in common.
That's coming from Tom MacDonald.
That's coming from Tom MacDonald. That's
well done. That's what we're talking about.
And that is exactly what it is. People are people. People are people. I do, like I said, I do believe that there are some things that run through the veins of the foundation of how things are run in this country that do separate the races. But we can still rise above it. There's nothing that is so systemic that you just can't. It's not like it was before. There's no segregation now. You can, like, I don't know, because some people might say there is in certain areas, but where I'm at, I can go anywhere. Yeah. Right?
I have no
The
issues.
Segregation is whether you have a vaccine card or not.
Yeah.
That's
And guess what? Guess what, guys?
That's
I've experienced racism myself. I was told one time, you're not allowed to come in this house because you're a black man. I was told one time, while you in this town, I was dating a white girl, and they said, listen, you have no business being in this town. And they were looking at me really, really strange. You know, but again, I knew that's what it was. They just didn't like me. They didn't even know who I was, but just so it does exist, all right. But so we're not saying that there are not some people who are still holding on to these views. But what I'm trying to say is, as a black man, whether you like me or not, I have to respect you and love you. And I know that's a difficult message for a lot of people because they don't have that Christian mentality. But here is the quote I wanted to read now to close this, because we have to react to Tom MacDonald's video, and that's the most exciting part of this live streaming, guys. So here we are now. Listen to this quote. This is coming from Joyce Meyer. I'm not a big fan of Joyce Meyer on everything, but listen, give credit where credit is due.
But we don't have to be and this is what is so important. We don't have to be a fan of anything everyone does, but we have to accept people and know that they can all bring something to the table to help us grow.
We need to accept the truth for what it is.
And that's white people, black people, Spanish, every race.
Now listen to this, guys. Harboring unforgiveness. Like I've said, the real heart of racism in some of these trailers, at the heart of it is unforgiveness.
Read the whole quote.
Harboring unforgiveness is like drinking poison and hoping your enemy will die.
Harboring unforgiveness is like drinking poison and hoping your enemy will die. Wow. Literally, that's what that trailer sounds like. It sounds like sarcastic, humorous, in-your-face white people. Spare me your victimization, white people. I'm so tired of hearing I'm a victim. Yeah. Do I believe that it would have looked a lot different if it was a mob of black people who stormed the Capitol? Absolutely. True. I think there is a certain fear that has been instilled into society that when you see people of other races, they look more violent. I said in the last video we did, I had said that it's so true, because me growing up with white people, even though I didn't feel accepted by them, I felt more comfortable than when I was in a room full of black people. I felt a little self-conscious. I felt a little uneasy, and I didn't fit in with them either. So they called me the white black girl, and then the white people didn't accept me because I was a black girl. And so I was...
Cheryl gets it. Cheryl gets it. Forgiveness is for us. You see, the black community, they have to forgive.
We have to forgive.
They have to. Because if they don't, listen, they're going to talk about this years to come. And guess what? Although these videos, I know the trailers, what their intents are, it's almost like you can tell the white community, they're doing okay. And I'm saying Caucasian folks, you guys know, you're not ashamed of being white. You don't go around saying, oh, because they put a video out there, I'm just not gonna. No, you're still gonna hold on to your values. You still believe what you believe. You do the things you do. You still wake up in the morning and go to sleep at night. So who is really hurting at the end? Cheryl, you got it. It is the black race. So the more they put this out, they're already destroying themselves.
Because what are they doing? Now they're digging. Just like they dug to make that compilation video, just like they're digging.
For
You're
dirt.
digging for dirt. So what good can come out of digging for dirt?
More
you
dirt.
want dirt, you're gonna find dirt.
More dirt.
You want dirt on yourself, you're gonna find dirt. You want dirt on anybody, you're gonna find dirt.
Yeah.
Whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find. Because
Yeah.
your perspective, your thought process, it's all negative.
And then you're gonna look and you're gonna have this perception going down to the generation of the younger generation, making them think every white person is like this. Every white people are bad. And here's another side of the story that most people don't like to talk about. Did you know there were many abolitionists who were Caucasian people?
Hold on. Let's go to the Civil War.
Can we go to school here?
Can we go to the Civil War in itself? How many white people died for black people, but we just forget about those white people?
They're not
because
that important.
they're not the majority.
They're not that important.
Listen,
supposedly.
even with the vaccine, with any narrative that the media and society is trying to push, people focus so much on the majority. The Civil War was a race war, and so someone else said that there was something else pushing behind it because Lincoln wasn't
listen to that.
Lincoln wasn't. Hold on one second. Lincoln wasn't really concerned with. He wasn't really planning on freeing the slaves. So that is something that I need to look into more. But at the end of the day, that's what they used. That's what ended up promoting the Civil War.
Look at this, guys. They are trying to start a civil war. Now,
Exactly.
I believe you,
Round two.
JCIBME. So here is the thing. Don't you also notice these type of narrative and racist discussion happens a little bit before election? The heat gets turned up, and as you get closer to an election, it's almost like all these racist stuff start really getting louder and louder. And it's almost like I can see that it's being also used for political reasons to galvanize a certain group of people to vote for whoever they think should be elected. So they use that even to their advantage, even for election reasons also. So, I mean, these are things that I'm seeing, guys.
Amy Ballard, my family lost their land being part of the Underground Railroad. Like, come on now.
Can we talk about that too?
Let me tell you, the people who have supported me the most, we said it before, we want to, and I hate to say it, but if you're listening, it's not to be rude, it's just to be real and honest. We went to an all-black church, and we were transitioning, and we ended up going to a primarily white church. And when we made that transition, I was having a baby and he had surgery. And so we were just both like down.
No job.
And we had jobs, but
we weren't working. Yeah.
So, but the white church really came through and helped us. Not saying there were a couple people who brought us a meal or two from the church that we had moved out of.
Of course.
And there was no animosity with the move. There was no hate. But I grew up in that church, right? So when you really look at this thing, seeing that they gave us money to pay our bills, to help with the bills, and we were still okay because we
were covered for months.
For a month.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
Yeah.
So, but they helped us in a way that was practical. We didn't get it, just a couple phone calls. Like, they really dug deep and they helped us, and they only knew us, what were we there, 3 weeks? I met them maybe twice. So let's just
you're right.
So it's just sad to say it. And going through school and going through different things all my life, those people who really supported me and really helped push me forward and propel me forward were white people who really said, "Oh, you could do this. You would be great at that."
That's based on real personal experience, guys.
This
and I'm not lying. And I work in a nursing home. We have years in nursing, field and facilities and stuff. Some of the most amazing people you will meet. Listen, you will meet amazing black men, amazing black people. In all cases, some of the most amazing people you will meet are Caucasian people as well. I've met them. They will give you counsels. Older people, they will sit there and they will pray with me. They will counsel me. I mean, come on. People are people. And that's what we have to look at. What we're doing here, we're not trying to pick a race above another. We're looking at the heart of the individual. We're looking at character here. We're looking at personality here. That's really what we should focus on. Not so much like white people. When you say white people, you don't explain what you mean. You don't, like Tom says, you don't take the time to hate on the right ones.
Yeah.
You kind of like put an umbrella.
Yeah. And when they put umbrella statements on black people, we go wild, don't we? Put an umbrella statement. All black people are thugs.
Just
all black people are killers. All black people.
Just a single one make us go wild. Imagine you go after the entire people.
So I just want to know what the documentary, what the goal of this documentary is. I wouldn't let my children listen to it. No. I don't understand why they play Roots every year. Amen. I don't understand why they play some of these movies they play. Yeah, there's history. There's history for learning, and then there are movies, there is media, there is all these things that are just kept, that they have one intention: keep division, keep the anger flowing, keep hatred alive. That's what the whole plan. That's what their goal is.
So we want to acknowledge you guys in the chat here quickly. There are so many great chats saying. So even though we're not taking on. Okay, Sean, No Lives Matter song is the song we need to hear next by Tom MacDonald. So that's going to be our night. And is that okay, guys? Could you guys vote in the chat for the next song you want us to react to? We're going to do This House tonight. So we're going to talk about No Lives Matter. That's one of them. So vote for the next Tom MacDonald song you would love for us to react to. You just put it up there in the chat room, and we're going to make a decision at the end of this video.
Okay, Christy Sherwin, I'm sorry. I don't think that the system is still racist. I truly believe that you have to take responsibility for yourself, but just because I was raised in the black community, I changed my life by... Is there more to this?
There's more to this, but maybe she's saying some more. Okay, thank you, Christy.
So thank you. And here's where I agree. I believe that they were put in, but I don't necessarily believe that they hold the same value or power that they do now.
Okay.
So this is where, I believe with the Jim Crow laws, I think that was, they were able to filter through people in that time. But now, I went to college. I got my bachelor's degree. So what? Why can't anyone else? It's mindset.
That's a good point.
I have a goal. I set my goal. I make my goal. I'm black.
By the way, Tana Ortiz, I believe this is a spiritual war.
That's what I was saying.
Listen, girl, listen.
You couldn't have said it better.
You just dropped a bomb in the room here.
It's all about division.
You literally dropped a bomb in the room, and you just call it for what it is. Because at the heart of it is really a spiritual war. That's really what it is. Yeah. So guys, we want to move on to Tom now because thank you so much again, JCIBME. We appreciate you. Okay, please play No Lives Matter because this really starts with this topic because be better than This House. So should we change the song? So how many of you would like to vote No Lives Matter instead of This House? So let's see how many votes we get below. So I'll count the votes here. No Lives Matter or This House. Which one would you guys like for us to react to? Again, you guys are the one leading the show. Okay, this is your thing. We want to do what you guys would like us to do here, as long as it's the right thing, of course. So,
fake woke. Is that a
fake?
You know what? I don't know if that's a song.
That is a song by Tom MacDonald.
Is it a song?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I believe that documentary is. Faking people that they're waking up. Now we're waking up to real white people, right? This is what white people really are. They're so fake and they're so phony, and that's just not true. There are people, and so I always go back to the Civil War, and even if you don't want to say the Civil War, even if there was a whole agenda behind the Civil War, when you look at slavery and how it ended and how many people help people, how many white people help black people throughout the time of slavery. That's it right there. That's enough for me to say you cannot lump some white people in a group, do a documentary to put them down, to trample their character, to say that they have no say when it comes to being hurt, victimized, or pained. So that group who went to the Capitol and stormed it, absolutely, they were wrong.
Yeah.
Like I said, do I think black people would have been treated different? Absolutely, I do.
But
what do we do? What are we going to do? Hold on to that?
Quickly, we're looking at the votes here. They're asking for both songs to be
they're saying
reacted. So no,
he said both. This House first.
This House and No Lives Matter. So do you want to go ahead and
we'll start?
Hey guys, let's get right to it. We're gonna react here. So that means our live stream is gonna be a bit longer, guys. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys can handle too much Andrea and myself here.
So silly.
So So if you are ready for that, we can react to both today. That's something we've never done before. Because Tom has so much substance, but we're going to try not to pause the video too many times.
Mike and the Dad Crosby. This documentary is like early Malcolm X. His ideas evolved over time. I agree, because Malcolm X, unfortunately, he was about violence.
Yeah, he was. He wanted
people. They were tired of the Martin Luther King narrative of peace and unity, and they wanted violence to pull back and to make the black man be able to stand for his rights. Violence never works. It never works. And we are Christians, so now they're doing. We will never agree. So while these aren't there, this documentary isn't saying violence in itself. What it's saying is it's about the mindset, and the mindset is even worse than the physical violence. Because if you keep people in a debased and this mindset of, oh, I'm pained, I'm in woe, they'll never progress. They'll never move forward. They'll never advance. So this is just the government. This is just a plan from the government. They're probably getting funding from who knows who.
Thank you, Cheryl. Guys, it's time for Tom, because this is the highlight of our discussion. All right? Because at the end of the day, one thing that is bringing us together here is the love for Tom MacDonald's music. Because if anybody gonna put it right and hit the nail in the sure place, we know it's Tom. So what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna react to both songs because you guys asked for it, so therefore you're gonna get it. So we're gonna react first of all to say it again, This House, and after that we're gonna react to No Lives Matter. I'm gonna try to not pause the video so much. We're watching this together. Maybe we might pause, like, I don't know. I'm not going to say how many times. That depends how he hates me, you know. So we're going to try to go through this and do it correctly. So, guys, are you guys ready for this? We want your thoughts and comments as we pause as well. So we're going to start now with No Lives Matter. This House by Tom MacDonald. Let's see what he thinks about the last video that he put out. So let's check this one out together.
Lately, everyone been talking crazy. Feel like everybody's got some to say. They misinterpreted my good intentions and expected I was just gonna step away. If there's a heart that pumps and there's a breath to take, then I won't bite my tongue as long as I'm awake. And they don't have the guts to make a dumb mistake. I'd rather crash a car than never touch the brakes. I built this in-house. They're the kind of people that be dying for exposure. They're the kind of people that get mad and lose composure. They're the kind of people that are never going forward. They're just the ones that are looking for apologies. Hating real loud, but they follow me. Screaming at the top of their lungs, I'm the scum of the earth. In the same damn breath, trying to preach about equality. Back before I wrote this song on race.
That's what he does.
He said, listen, I wanted to pause it so much earlier, but I talked too much. Okay, so guys, first off, let's just talk about how they're the ones who are screaming for equality, but yet at the same time they're calling white people scum and they're saying all this hate talk. You want to talk about hate talk? Hate talk in that documentary? It's like this subtle, passive-aggressive hate talk that he's talking about. You want to say...
This is hate talk right here.
This is hate talk. Warning, this trailer may trigger white people.
You knew what you were doing the whole time.
Yeah, it's intentional.
Of course
it's creating more division.
They know what they're doing. It's a shame.
It's a shame. But this is what. But I love what he said in the beginning. He said, I don't care what you say. I'm not going to quiet my voice. He said, I'd rather crash a car.
Listen to GS. She said, I knew she couldn't resist.
I'm so mad. I want to start the song over.
I wanted to pause from the very time.
I know.
I saw those little, those little
Start
comments.
the song over. Start it over. Start it over. I know. I'm being terrible. We got to start this over.
This is amazing. Again, this is what
guys
Tom
hate
does.
me. I'll try to streamline and keep my thoughts concise.
Okay, guys, let's do it again. So this tells me then he must have gotten a lot of backlash for that white boy
Kill
song.
yourself. Who says kill yourself to somebody?
Just
and then says he's not being equal. He's a racist, but you told him to kill himself.
Guys, I'm not sure if I'm naive or ignorant or I'm not seeing the whole picture.
How do you?
I do not see a vestige. I did not see a vestige of racism in the song "White Boy." Maybe because I'm Haitian or stuff. Maybe I'm not because I'm not a black American. I saw absolutely nothing racist in that thing.
Okay,
nothing
here's
but
what it was.
Truth. That's what I saw.
It was both sides not wanting to face the truth and the reality that this is a person to person. If you have a problem with somebody, you need to go to that somebody and not them, not their whole race, not their whole family, not their mom, not their dad. You need to go to that person and deal with one-on-one. That's what he's saying. It's that simple. The whole message was stop lumping me into a category.
Don't put me in a box.
Don't categorize me, but let me be me and you judge me by me.
What's wrong with that?
Period.
What's wrong with that?
What is it? It blows my mind.
What's wrong with that?
I feel like, okay, I don't even understand it. I don't understand it.
I don't think
so now we see, okay, so now we're moving on. We see these are all the messages he's received. Who would have the audacity to say such evil stuff to another human, period? Okay, that's just on itself. But then have the nerve to say, he's being mean to me. You're not trying to help this man understand why you're hurt. You are killing him with words. Words, you know, what they used to say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That is just a not true statement. Not words divide, words break, words kill the spirit. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. It's a scripture.
Yeah.
Death and life are in the power of the tongue.
Proverbs 18:21.
It's a true statement. How many times did someone say something to you and it literally like was like a dagger? I know I felt that. I know you felt like where it's just like, oh, it hits you. And it was a word. I would have rather been hit with a stone.
Why does he have to get this level of backlash because he speaks his opinion like everybody else does as an artist?
But
and the artists who are really tearing our communities apart, you know what they get? They get thumbs up. They get heart. They get promoted. But the man who is saying, guys, we need to address some real issues here. Don't put me in a box. Let's look at each other differently. We have so much in common. That's the guy you want to kill.
So they're crying out for peace. They're crying out for equality. Yet you're killing your brother who is because he's white.
The one
you're the same. If Tom was actually being that way, would you be being any different right now? Saying kill yourself and calling him names.
You are hearing this from people who are Christian, from people who read the Bible, from people who are in church. Listen.
This is not even a Christian thing, though.
No, I'm just being honest.
But this is just a moral.
If Tom was an evil guy, he wouldn't be on this channel. Listen to me. We will not be talking about this. Okay? And the reason the other ones don't get talked about is because, not all of them, by the way, some of them I don't know about them. The reason some of these crazy artists that are really causing trouble don't get talked about in this channel is because we don't have time for that kind of nonsense. So I'm just being honest with you. The fact we're talking about Tom and we promoting his stuff here is because we find something in here that we can connect with. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this. Honestly.
I'm telling you.
It's the truth I'm telling you right now. I'm just being very honest with you.
So that just started it off to let you know what he's experiencing from the people who are crying out for equality and peace. And supposedly they want so-called peace.
Anyway, let's hear.
Talking crazy, feel like everybody's got some to say. They misinterpreted my good intentions and expect.
How many times were you misinterpreted? How many times did you say something you were misinterpreted, and because people are so close-minded, they absolutely refuse to hear you out?
Said I was just gonna step away. If there's a heart that pumps and there's a breath to take, then I won't bite my tongue as long as I'm awake and they don't have the guts to make a dumb mistake. I'd rather crash a car than never touch the brake.
I'd rather crash the car than never touch the brake. That right there speaks volume. How many times do we see stuff? We go places. We're at work. We see it in our children. We see it in our husband, wives, any place, out, strangers. And we see something's wrong, but we keep our lips sealed.
You see, the thing is, I love this about Tom as a man. He's not afraid of telling the truth because he knows truth is on his side. And people who love the truth, people like myself, people like yous, hang over a gang family, hang for life. We're not going to just sit back and say, oh yeah, poor Tom. No. This brother's onto something here, and he deserves the respect that we will give to anybody else because the stuff he's talking about is relevant. It's true. It makes sense. It's targeting some real issues, and as a people, whether you're offended or not, we do have to humble ourselves, swallow our pride, and listen.
And then ask questions. If you don't understand something, all you got to do is ask a question.
Ask questions. Don't go and
let him explain himself.
Don't go and start attacking the man.
Why does he got to get pegged for his thought process? Do you want to get pegged for yours? Do I want to get pegged for mine? I have thoughts that aren't right. I have times I need to be corrected. I've been corrected through the commentary from going through these videos already.
Thank you for doing that, by the way.
There's a lot of stuff. I'm like, with the Civil War, I need to go relook things up.
Thank you, JCIMB. It would be nice if Tom could join us here. They're trying to get Tom on the live stream to watch this.
Awesome.
That would be really awesome. I wish I could even actually talk to Tom.
Yo,
if I could meet Tom face to face, I could meet Tom face to face. I'd be like, Tom, you don't have to say anything. Can I just give you a hug? Literally, just give you a hug just to say
for opening the eyes of the blind.
What you stand for.
Opening the eyes of the blind.
And I'll tell Tom, I love what you stand for. I love the person you have become, even through your past experiences. And third, I want to say one thing. I'm praying for you.
Right.
I'm praying for you.
Here we go.
All right, let's go back. We want to quickly pause to acknowledge
Champagne
Ryan here. There is a great video. The video Tom put out, white boy behind the shoot. I did listen to that, by the way. I did actually. I've learned so much from that. You guys referred me to that. Yeah, definitely worth to watch. I did listen to that, Champion Ryan, and thank you once again for the super chat. So let's go now.
Sorry.
In-house. They're the kind of people that be dying for exposure. They're the kind of people that get mad and lose composure. They're the kind of people that are never going forward. They're just the ones that are looking for apologies.
Looking for apologies.
You were saying this in the last video. When are we gonna move forward? We're going to keep fighting about this?
They're looking for exposure. They're doing this not because they actually have a thought process behind it, not because they actually have an intelligent viewpoint. They're just looking for exposure.
Yeah.
They're the ones, they don't even know how to react with composure. They lose their composure. It's just all about reaction because what do they know? What the world knows is that conflict brings out conversations, brings out division, brings money in, right? So he's doing, his conflict is actually with purpose and motive that is lasting, that is life-changing.
Yeah.
This other conflict, this drill music, this music industry that it's destruction. It's destructive in nature. It's destructive in purpose. It has a goal to keep families separated.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Right?
It's a shame. That's really the goal. And Tom, that's not what he's doing here in the song.
He's trying to build.
And again, I love the
enlighten.
fact he's responding because a lot of time we can be like, I said what I said, and then I misunderstood. I'm gonna shy away. That's not.
I love what he said. He said, "I'm not gonna be quiet."
Listen. I would put my pedal to the metal. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't
like
say pedal
I'm
to the
not
metal.
putting. I'm not.
I'd rather crash the car.
I would have crashed the car
than
to put my foot on the brake. So the point is, I'm pushing it, staying forward. And the idea is, I'm gonna stand for what I believe. And I'm telling you guys, if you believe something, even if nobody else believes it, stand forward. Because the truth is not always convenient sometimes. It's going to get under somebody's skin. I'm going to tell you, there's time my wife tells me things that I don't want to hear it. But when I digest the thing, listen, man, it's the best thing she ever said. So the honest truth is, our selfishness and pride, our ego can get wounded when truth comes to us.
The nail on the
so
head.
When
Pride
it gets
and
wounded,
ego.
when he gets wounded, the humble things to do is to trying to swallow up your pride. It's not easy to do. You have to say, you know what? I don't care how you feel right now, pride. But if this is true, Lord, by your grace, help me to eat it up.
Well, the problem is that people don't want to ruffle any feathers. They like constant.
Yeah.
They don't want to have the conflict because what happens is when truth is revealed, you do have an internal conflict that you do have to go through that process of opening your eyes, going through the change thought process, and being able to say, I was wrong.
Wow.
Pride and ego.
Debbie, I see you in the chat here. Debbie Harkness. Listen, I'm actually with you on that. I've seen one of his songs, and I requested pray for him because I was worried about him.
Yeah.
I understand why. I understand. Anybody who's speaking like Tom is...
Virtue signaling for financial gain. That's true.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So let's get some more Tom MacDonald going here.
Hating real loud, but they follow me, screaming at the top of their lungs. I'm the scum of the earth in the same damn breath, trying to preach about equality. Back before I wrote the song on race, they all ignored that I had something great. They tried to edge me out, they didn't hear my bars. They tried to tell me that I wasn't built for fame. Fast forward to when I'm paid. I ain't spend $1 on the chain. I'll get my mama a house, I'll get my dad a car, I'll make my sister rich, she'll never work again. And it's...
What is the current rap industry promoting? What is the current music industry promoting? Chains.
Money, sex, drugs.
Money, sex, drugs. He's telling people, buy a house. This is generational wealth that you're starting. Your sister won't have to work again. Not because of that, for whatever reason. Like he's saying, he's given financial planning here, financial tips on how to spend the money that you get.
Can we read that again? Because it sounds like more he's saying, I could have focused more on these things than to be talking about these things right here that you're attacking me for. It sounds like he's saying, I'm not trying to be selfish, but I could have used hip-hop for my own benefits, but I'm using it to promote truth, and you attacking me. It seems like that's what he's saying, but I might be wrong, though.
Edge me out, they didn't hear my bars. They tried to tell me that I wasn't built for fame. Fast forward to when I'm paid. I ain't spend $1 on the chain. I'll get my mama a house, I'll get my dad a car, I'll make my sister rich, she'll never work again. And
so
he's like, I'm not being stupid with this thing. Like he's letting everybody know he's from a different mindset. He's cut from a different cloth.
Yes.
He's not.
He's using his wealth for the right purpose here.
He's like, look, listen, I'm not like y'all. Y'all thought you could tell me I wasn't worth anything. I showed you my come up, but even in my come up, I'm still not like y'all. I didn't buy a chain. I didn't do this for all. I made sure that I made sure my people were taken care of the right way.
That's right.
The right way. And I just love that he's confident in what he believes.
And
he doesn't have to.
This is what attracts me, because being a gospel preacher and stuff, you can't back down. Whatever belief system you have, even if it conflicts mine, stand for it because it is your belief. You don't think so? People have to either line up, or eventually, if you are convicted to believe something else, that's something different. But the thing is, I'm all for freedom of conscience here, and the fact he's standing for this, boy, I love myself some Tom MacDonald.
Question, Sandra Hakos. You said I'm nervous about that as well, but it may make for a good discussion. What are you nervous about? I missed that in the comment.
I think she's probably nervous about Tom MacDonald's lives or something like that, right?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So we can talk some more, guys. Let's listen some more. Happy birthday once again to my wife. Thank you, Amy.
Come on,
let's get some more Tom MacDonald going here.
And this hater is so underwhelming. I'm conditioned for all the abuse. Seeing the reaction videos all blowing up, and you're welcome for all of the views. Blow up my Twitter. Y'all just keep making me bigger. Y'all just keep showing your trick.
I'm getting the idea that Tom MacDonald knew what was gonna come to him. By putting out this video, you see, I'm conditioned for all these abuse, and sometimes when you're standing for truth, you need to prepare yourself.
Well, no, he's conditioned for it. Look at what his life was like, what he went through.
He's been through traumatic experiences.
He's conditioned for it because he is a man who understands the power of the mind.
Yeah.
His perspective and his mindset, he's not gonna fade and fall into a box or a category. He's got a strong mindset. Most of the music industry is puppeted. They're being fed what it is that they have to do, what they have to say. They're being given.
Tom is free.
He broke the chain.
Free thinker.
He broke the chain of the music industry by going on his own, going out on his own, and going out on what he believes and what he stands for in his past life, of what he's gone through, his traumas that he's been through, his addictions. He's been built for this thing.
The thing is, many in the music industry don't like Tom because Tom is doing what they should have been doing,
and
that they are not able to do.
Yeah,
and in part of the hatred, there's a story in the Bible about Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel. You kill your little brother because your brother has done what you should have been doing. So it's kind of like Tom is saying, guys, this is how it is done.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they can't do it, and as a result, it's almost like this level of jealousy. If I may use that word loosely here, jealousy is going after him, saying, we're going to get rid of him by any means necessary. Destroy his image, attack his fans, make him look bad, make him look foolish. And guess what? I love the fact he's not backing down.
Well, and then you also have to look at the music industry themselves. You got a bunch of Toms out here. Hold on a second. We don't need your big label. We don't need your label. We don't need your money.
No.
We can do what Tom did. So mind you, like there's a lot of people who feel stuck. I'm sure. I'm not 100% sure, but there's a lot of people who probably feel stuck in their label, stuck not doing what their heart desires to do, not what they feel inspired to do, but they're doing what gives them the check just so they can make sure they have the money. And they look at a guy like Tom MacDonald and say, what, he did that out of boxes? He did that in his basement? And wait till you... Listen, he did.
Blew up.
I can do it too.
Blew up.
Guess what there's going to be? They're losing money. So, of course, they need to throw a lot of hate, a lot of shade on Tom MacDonald, try to take away. And he's just in their face saying, I don't care. While I got breath in my body, while I got a heartbeat, I'm going to stand for what I believe.
Keep your foot on the gas, Tom. If you're listening to this, keep your foot on the gas. People like myself, we love what you do. So here is the thing, guys. So, I mean, I'm going to hold back my thoughts on this one. All right, let's move on.
Let's go.
Let's hear some more.
Y'all just keep missing the point and I keep doing me. Y'all ain't nothing to even consider. Man, I built this house. I'm the kind of person making music with a purpose. You the kind of people that be hating on the surface. I'm the kind of you ain't used to, the kind of make you nervous. Yeah, back before I even wrote the record, I could see this coming like a fortune teller. And a calm sea don't make a skilled sailor, so I think they had for the stormy weather.
A calm sea don't make a skilled sailor. A calm sea don't make a skilled sailor. Come on now, that line is fire. You gotta throw fire bombs in the chat. A calm sea don't make a skilled sailor.
You see, that's what I call rap. This is the kind of rap Pastor James can listen to. And
I need to see fire bombs in the chat, guys.
I can be like, okay,
that right there. That is a calm sea.
Fire.
I mean, like every time I hear it, this song is my favorite so far.
Really?
A calm sea.
You need to hear some more Toms. But this, I love the fact though, the spirit.
What does that mean?
It.
A calm sea doesn't make a skilled sailor.
And the idea is,
do you get that?
The idea is, if
you haven't gone through,
if you haven't gone through the struggles, if you don't experience trouble,
yes,
you're not gonna make me the man that I am. So in other words, the troubles that they're sending to Tom, what they fail to realize, the more you go after Tom,
the more he learns how to navigate,
is the greater he becomes.
Yeah. And the more he has to learn, the way he's learning how to navigate through life,
it's
not because it's been easy.
Yeah.
Not because it's been easy. It's because he had to put in work, because he had to go against opposition, because people tried to shut his voice out, and he had to say no. He had to fight battles within himself.
Fire,
because
guys.
He's human.
Fire in the chat room.
He's human. He's a human person, so he does go through emotions and feelings. What he's expressing here, what he had to get to make this video, what he had to dig deep and pull out of him to make this video, we don't know. But there had to be something.
That's the stuff we don't see. We don't know what's going on behind the scene. When you see the kind of work that they had to do.
So the thing is,
I said this in one of my reaction videos before, guys. You guys who will be following, you heard me saying this. You see rappers like Tom MacDonald, they are not born. They are made to struggles, mistakes, bad decisions, negativity, failures, and through all of that, emerge as someone that we will say today is something special. Say what you want. Talk about his skin, his tattoos, or his lyrics, what you like, what you don't like. Say what you want.
Yeah.
This brother here is working with something special. And I'm telling you, they don't make them like this anymore. This is very rare. Now, I'm not saying there are not other artists. NF, you guys introduced me to NF, Burden World, some other artists that you guys showed me. And I'm like, yo, they're all good too. What I'm saying is Tom MacDonald, at the level that he is and what he is talking about, the stuff he's addressing as a man, I'll take my hat down.
A calm sea don't make a skilled sailor. Whatever you guys are going through, just know sometimes it takes some pain, sometimes it takes some struggle, sometimes it takes some fight. It takes fight to get to where you've been purposed to get to.
You heard that, guys?
It's not easy.
Yeah.
There's no comfort in the growth. Wait, how's it go? There's no growth in the comfort zone, and there's no comfort in the growth zone. You know, it just comes with the territory.
I love that.
If you want to grow, you're going to have to go through stuff. And Tom MacDonald, more than anyone else who I'd heard recently, understands that concept. And he's not going to let anybody put him in fear, anxiety, depression, guilt him, shame him into feeling like he needs to shut his mouth. Because he understands what he's creating is with purpose. He said, what I'm saying is with purpose. Y'all just making stuff, random stuff. He has purpose in what he's putting out.
Yeah, I agree. And, oh man, I love it. Let's hear some more.
Okay, fast forward to when we're old and gray. I'll be looking back at when they posted hate, and it will hurt a bit, but it was worth it when your dream is getting hurt no matter what they say. I try conveying that I love us all, and the way I did it left them so appalled. I used a broken arm to try and break their walls. No matter what they say, they know it took balls.
This video is actually very simple.
It's so simple.
We don't have all these crazy Illuminati stuff flying all over the place, all these crazy flashlights. He doesn't have to do all that. This is actually very simple. When you know how to do video production, this is simple.
He's showing the storm.
You know what's powerful about the video?
Going through.
Truth.
Yep.
Truth. It's not really, it's not about all that. The lyrics are so true. The man he's speaking about here as a response to his so-called, I would say, haters. But the thing is, the truth is so clear that you can't fight against this.
No.
And guess what? The thing about people that attracts them to Tom, people love truth. You may put all these crazy videos out there, a lot of artists are doing a lot of crazy stuff they're saying, but if you're not telling people the truth, you're not going to attract a crowd. They might follow you, but they're not going to follow you to the end.
Well, you become a fad.
This brother here is different, man.
You're a fad. You become trendy. You know, he's not trying to be trendy. He's trying to break chains. He's trying to open up the blind eyes. He's trying to set at liberty people who are captive in this mindset of debased thinking and not understanding that you are an equal. You can be an equal.
Yep.
You just have to have the mindset of equality. You have to have the mindset of growth. You have to have the mindset of being able to overcome what the narrative is trying to be pushed into you for you to think this way. Like, he's trying to take you from that place of oppression to release you and free you.
And
like the cage
you said
bird
something
sing.
on the last video. You said something that I was listening to the video and I'm like, yo, that was deep. Because oftentimes when we have these discussions, I have to go back and listen and I'm like, oh, I missed that. I didn't even realize she said this. She said Tom MacDonald is trying to get us to think a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And he's trying to take the mind from a base level and say, look beyond.
Yes.
And that is what I love, because he's not just talking about the base stuff of the nonsense stuff, the rhetoric, the same repetitive kind of type. No. He's taking the idea of music to a level where it addresses real issues, where real conversation can be happening, where real healing could take place, where love can be built, peace can be achieved, all of that. And to me, that is a genius.
He's conditioned for the abuse because he was bullied as a boy and the fight to become relevant as an artist. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, John.
Appreciate you. Hey, Gail Parker, thank you. We love you too. Thank you for the love and the attention that you guys show to us here. So now let's watch some more. I'm sorry. You want to go?
Well, she put this thing, young white kids have crushing guilt. It's very sad. I think I saw a video of this one girl. She's like crying and she's just like, I'm so sorry. While I understand we do not erase history, why are we trying to put guilt trips on people?
To me, that makes no sense.
Anyway.
And I found a location, unloaded the lumber and pounded the stakes, and I
Wait. We gotta back this up.
Listen, sorry.
It's Tom. You can't do that to us like that. You can't.
We just need to listen to that.
You can't just drop it like that. Okay. We need to.
This is him. So as we proceed into this, understand what he's saying. I mean, I know you guys listen to the words, but listen to these words because this man has understood what it takes to put in the work and to put in.
And that's what most people don't see, though.
They don't see that.
They don't see that.
Because they don't want to see it.
They don't know how many sleepless night, how long his girl has to stay on the internet working. I heard she worked 50 hours to put out a video the other day. Like, you don't see that. You don't know how they had to change their house around, what furnitures they had to buy. You don't know how many times they had to sleep outside. You don't know the kind of sacrifice, money that had to be borrowed and stuff. You don't know that. And that's why you can't judge.
The beauty of it is, I bet you he loves every single moment of it because it just builds that much more of the foundation that he has created.
That's why we gotta show him some love.
It just frameworks his whole thought process being able to say that he didn't go with the narrative they tried to push him into. He didn't take the easy way out. He didn't fall victim to the category they tried to put him in.
Hey man, appreciate that.
They know it took balls. I surveyed the land and I found a location, unloaded the lumber and pounded the stakes, and I blended the bones of the people who hated with blood and cement. And I poured the foundation. I built the frame with all my guilt and shame, and then I chiseled my name and the date in the basement. I carved my initials and all of the boards and the beams that are needed for structural greatness. No record label, no distribution.
He's not bragging here.
No, he's not bragging.
He's just telling you the truth behind what he's been doing.
He said he even put his guilt and shame in the foundation there. Sometimes you gotta listen. Even God says, "I will take your sins and I will put them in the depths of the sea."
We can start preaching. We can start preaching here right now.
This is what we have to understand as people, even as Black people. Sometimes you gotta put this stuff to rest.
Yeah.
So, like we said, there is history, and then there is debating and anger and unforgiveness. We gotta put the anger, the unforgiveness, we got to put it to rest. He put it in the foundation of what he was building, guilt and shame. He knew he'd been through some stuff. This is what he's saying. I've been through some storms.
Oh, sorry, guys. We just wanted to see how many people are watching us live right now. There are
139.
139. Okay, got it. Thank you, ma'am.
So this is the whole thing. We have to understand we got to put stuff, and there's stuff in our own personal lives. This is just why I have to say this. What he's doing, he's not just trying to reach masses. He's trying to reach individuals. Us, we have stuff that we have held on to, whether it be with a family member, with a child, with a friend, within ourselves, some self-pain, we have to start creating a new foundation and put that pain, that guilt, that shame, put it down in there. So then you can pour the cement and you can do all that. And then you can move forward. You can propel forward in life.
And that's the thing. Going after Tom MacDonald and not understanding the kind of work that it took for him to be at this place and talking the way he's talking, is almost like, well, you going against a brick wall. You're just not going to, because there's so much that has happened back then that we just don't know. We just seen somewhat of the finished product here.
Pause. Cheryl said, as Tom says, he walks with Christians. I didn't even know that. So I think that's
good to hear, man. It's good to hear.
I didn't know it based on his words,
but based
on his music.
Yeah, I
can
see it. Yeah.
And this is why we got to keep going. I love it. I love it.
No cosign, no publicist, no manager, no teammates, no money to make up my budget with, no groceries, no studio, no booking agent, no bucket list, no PR, no marketing, just fans.
Wow.
He understands the value of the people who he's serving.
He loves truth.
And
again, he has by the way, guys, shout out to you once again. He has an amazing group of people. And the reason why we're having the discussion is because the fans that we've met that love Tom, and we ourselves got connected to Tom, and we got connected to you. So what we're saying is, guys, continue to support Tom and continue to pray for Tom, because artists like this, they are not born, if I may say it again. They are made.
And he's been made through the fiery trials of life.
You guys said the refiner is fire.
Yeah.
Shit, that. And it's true. He's been through that 100%. And back. So, yeah.
We built this house when my days end and it's vacant, and they bury me with that only key. My biggest fans gonna break in with a Ouija board and a box of chalk, draw a pentagram, hail Satan, try to bring me back from that wooden box. Y'all tried to fill my grave.
He said, listen, we're gonna be so yearning for the truth that he's been spitting. They're gonna try to bring him back to life, because that's how much he is spitting the truth, and he knows it. He's confident in what he's sharing. That's how. Listen, that's how Christ was. He was confident in what he's sharing. Tom is confident in what he brings to the table here.
Love it.
Then they'll sit on the roof with the rifles I hid in the fridge, and they'll shoot at the men on the ridge who are coming to undo the work that I did. Then they'll block off the highway that leads to the crib and put sensors on all of the boards on the bridge, so they know when they're coming to empty the clip. Then they'll gut all the bodies and cut off the skin, then connect all the pieces with needles and pins and attach it to 10 feet of branches and twigs, and then plant it in mud till it stands in the wind. Then they'll stand there and look at this that we.
Quickly, guys, thank you for the love. Thank you. I see you. Who's that? Ed9. There you go. Once again. Yeah. Thank you for praying. Thank you for praying for us in our ministry. Well, I want to say, apart from all the crazy stuff about Tom knows how to rap. Yeah. He's got bars for days. Can we judge without all the extra stuff, right? Just listen to this stuff this brother is saying here. It's almost like, boy, this Caucasian guy can rap, boy. Anyway.
Did that we never imagined we do because of them. Our blood and sweat and tears went into what we built till we were bags. So we used blood and sweat and tears of enemies to build our flag. We built this house,
we built.
Guys, can we get some fire in the chat room? Can we get some fire in the chat room right now? Put some fire in the chat room if you are watching to this, because it's getting hot in here. And by the way, we are in a cold basement, but I'm getting hot inside. Literally.
So tell me, maybe if this was their first intro, but not after. Okay. So what does this mean? I'm still trying to wrap my head around this part. Let's
hear it again.
Yeah, let's listen again. So guys, speak to this.
Sweat and tears of enemies to build our flag. We built this house, we laid these bricks, we set these traps, these flames we lit. Our haters doused in gasoline, they brought to try and torch us with. Let them hate, dog. Everyone will have something to say, dog. Their opinions don't mean trying to judge your engine by your paint job.
Trying to judge your engine by your paint job.
Those,
that's so superficial.
I see why you guys call him a lyrical poetic, but he does have a way of putting those words together. He just hates you right in the face.
Opens minds, don't judge, try to understand and help. Absolutely. Listen, this man is fire. He's fire,
because it's just that good.
Try to judge an engine by its paint job. Isn't that the music industry now? A bunch of nothingness, but these pretty little covers. Look at Hollywood. These people are depressed. They're sad. They're angry. What do they call Michael Jackson? The saddest man in the world, right? Because they're just putting out stuff. They're just putting out stuff. Like, I love Michael Jackson. Don't get me wrong. This isn't a Michael Jackson thing. But what I'm saying is, like, when we're looking at what the music industry is putting out, they're going off of looks. They're going off of whatever, but he's talking about there's substance. Trying to judge an engine by its paint job.
Here's the word again. Substance.
He's got substance. Talk about that. Talk about this engine paint job lyric. Please talk about it. Yeah. Don't judge a book by its cover. What's his cover? What are they judging him by? Because of his tattoos? Because he's white? Right?
Yeah.
Because of that? Because he's speaking in such a manner? Because he's wearing the braids?
Well,
that's what he said before. They're saying, he's trying to be black.
The thing is, the same. If a black man was actually talking like Tom about racial issues, it wouldn't be no problem. There would be no backlash.
Okay, pause. Tom is saying he is using everything they use in the industry for success against them. He's using their own weapons against them. Woo, that's fire. That is so fire. Yes. That is so true. They're supposed to hate Jared. Everyone said. People say he can't rap. That is not true. Thank you, Renee, for joining in. Thank you for hanging with us.
But I want to say this, guys. This is coming from a quick quote here. We can use some quotes. This is coming from Michael Jackson. I've used this before, even in a sermon, because it just makes sense. Lies run sprints, right? Here is the next part of it. But the truth runs marathons. It makes a lot of sense for the reason why.
Yes.
People may attack the truth, but the truth is winning, though. It may look as though, and I love this because, when you go to the spiritual aspect, Jesus is the truth and everything. And I'm saying, so the whole idea is people who are promoting lies, they are taking the front stage, and they're running really fast with it. But guess what? Men who are standing for truth, don't be ashamed. Because at the end of the day, how long as you have truth on your side, you're gonna win. As a matter of fact, you've already won. Tom has already won this battle. And the fact he's getting all this backlash is a sign of victory, guys. It's a sign of victory because that's the only way they can do what they're doing, because otherwise they're just confirming the fact he's on the right
Tom's music will have a lasting power. It will have a lasting impact. It will run the marathon that it's been called to run because it has been founded on truth.
That's right.
It's been founded on unity.
I know there's going to be a time when Tom is going to be laid to rest. Even after that happens,
his music won't.
His music isn't going to die. Let me tell you something. You see this man's music? After he's dead, that's exactly when things are going to get blow up.
Yep.
And I'm not saying, I'm praying that the Lord keep him alive as long as he could live, die in his old age. That's my prayer, right?
Yep.
But the thing is, even after that happens, whether it is 10, 20, or 80 something years from now, if these songs are still around, let me tell you something. It's going to give birth to a generation of men and women
and that's
that are going to create this mindset. And they're going to swat. You may get rid of Tom. You may attack Tom. But you're not going to attack his ideas and the truth that he promotes.
And that's what they're afraid of. And that's why they want to silence his voice and make him racist. Because what does race do? Race, what? Oh, Tanya, sorry.
Tanya.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you. She says, thank you for embracing Tom and his fans. These conversations are fabulous. Thank you for enjoying the conversation. This is what I've always lived for. Change mindset. My thought process, young, I've always wanted to change the way people thought because I just thought, and this is even before I acknowledged any God in my life or Christianity. I just was a person who saw people and hated the way people dealt with people.
Yeah.
It was just my person. And so being able to join into this family of truth, this family that is like over the lie and the propaganda of this big race culture. And now we need to be woke. Like that fake woke. I can't wait to listen to that song as well, because it's just like, I feel like I look around
Fake
and I
woke is
just
going to
say,
be our next one, guys.
I just say, how in the world do people not see this and cringe and say, like, are they for real? Do they really have this mindset?
Somebody quoted 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 7. Okay, I can put it on the screen in a few minutes here. What I would like to say, guys, if you are new here, like
this is
and
not
subscribe.
A fad. This is a movement.
Like and subscribe. Hey, man, it is. Like and subscribe to the page. Comment also below. We want to hear your thoughts. And also, do me a favor. Share this with somebody else. Okay? Call your friends. Let them know we are live. I should have told you from the beginning, but nevertheless, it's still not too late for them to come in. So bring people in. I see the subscription are going up, and I see the viewers are also increasing. We have 144 people watching. Guess what? We can get 1,000 here because we got something good happening here. Why? Because we got Tom MacDonald and Shuf is being promoted here. Guess what? Bring more people into this stuff.
So Tom MacDonald, he refuses to be trendy. He refuses to be part of a group of people who don't see that people need to be educated and they need to have knowledge and wisdom driving them and leading their thought process, intelligence. He's not going to be part of the foolishness of just talking about guns, sex. What is it?
Too many people are doing guns, sex, drugs,
violence,
and violence.
All that stuff that's being promoted
about
in the music industry now. He's not going to do that.
He's not that kind of
artist. And taking that stance makes him, what's that word? Monumental. Makes him, but it just runs like he's going to run forever. He's running, he's the marathon
You
man.
guys heard my words of Tom, and I would like to hear your words. My description of Tom is counterculture revolutionary artist, and I'm sticking to it because they don't make them like this anymore. And I would like to, guys, I'm going to read your comments here. When you describing Tom, what are the words? I've heard fax machine before. I've heard lyrical poetic before. I've heard arithmetic something. But anyway, I'll listen to what you guys think. Let's hear some more
the
Tom
rest
MacDonald.
of the song. Sorry, guys.
This is deeper than we thought.
Gravestone, I'm a cheap death. There's too much I ain't seen yet. They think that I got him way over my head, but I feel like I just got my feet wet. We're trying to dream more and sleep less. Avoid the pills when we're depressed. Remember to not be too hard on ourselves. If we cut deep enough, we up bleed red. Man, you never know when it's time to go.
Quality.
Heaven's open when the bars are closed. So seize the moment. Don't leave it hoping. You'll breathe tomorrow. You could be a ghost. I'm living mine like the finish line is right in front of me. Made a fishing wire, so I'll never see it till it's too late. When God.
I love that he said he made a fishing wire. Why? Because you can't see it. Because he puts no end to his. He puts no end to what he's here to do.
There's so much
the
depth
fishing
to this
line.
lyrics.
You don't see a fishing line, right? So he's just saying until his last day, he's not even going to sit here and try to put an end. He didn't put a cap.
Amazing.
He didn't put a cap. Oh my gosh, sorry. I think I spit. He didn't put a cap on what he's trying to deliver, people.
Guys, can you put some fire in the chat room? Because this was fire.
This man.
Listen, guys. So what do we think? Let's bring a conclusion to this part here. What do you guys think? What do you think Tom was saying in this song?
We didn't even finish it yet.
No, it's over, right?
Is it over?
Yeah, this is the end.
God shakes my hand, please celebrate.
Okay, well, back it up because we got to hear that last part.
Depression by your paint job. Gravestone, I'm a cheat death. Dog, everyone will have something to say, dog. Their opinions don't mean trying to judge your engine by your paint job. Gravestone, I'm a cheat death. There's too much I ain't seen yet. They think that I got them way over my head, but I feel like I just got my feet wet. We're trying to dream more and sleep less. Avoid the pills when we're depressed. Remember to not be too hard on ourselves. If we cut deep enough, we up bleed red. Man, you never know when it's time to go. Heaven's open when the bars are closed. So seize the moment, don't leave it hoping. You'll breathe tomorrow, you could be a ghost. I'm living mine like the finish line is right in front of me. Made a fishing wire, so I'll never see it till it's too late. When God shakes my hand, please celebrate. Please celebrate.
Wow.
Thank you for the fire, guys. Fire, fire, fire.
He said, don't apologize. He said, please celebrate. Don't.
So, what did we get from this discussion?
Man, it's so much more. Okay, so he hit so many different topics. I'm not good at being put on the spot with questions.
Well,
so,
I can start.
Go ahead.
If you want me to. First of all, the first thing that I grasp is the fact that Tom is not going to back down from the attacks that he's getting for believing what he believes. I appreciate that. We should never back down because, especially when we know we are standing for the truth. All right. That's the first thing that I grasp. If you get anything, anytime, insert that. The thing is, Tom had to put in a lot of work to get to the point that he is. So therefore, he will never sacrifice. And the thing is, when we understand the level of work the man had to put in, we can appreciate his content better.
Well, and it's not even the amount of work he put in. It's about what he went through to get where he's at mentally. Like, his mindset is strong. He said he was built for this abuse, not because of anything that he did, but because of what he experienced.
Let's hear what you guys are saying about Tom here very quickly. A warrior angel. Listen to that one. I like that, Sir Licky. Let me put the chat room going here.
Don't attack my fans or my music. We are fine.
Yeah. Wow. All lives matter. They will love also. I mean, we have the no lives matter. There's also an all lives matter. Well, okay.
Tom is going to continue to go all out until the rising wire ends his race.
Amen.
Exactly. Till that rising wire ends his race. Like, I love how he didn't put a cap on what he's going to do. He used a fishing wire, right?
Like that
he used
idea.
a fishing wire because you can't see that.
Because
Because once you start to see an end, you start to function in that. No, he understands
Guys, that
you
was
function.
such a nice song.
He said he just feels like he's getting his feet wet. He said you function full throttle until you take your last breath. And he said you could be breathing, but you could just be a ghost. Why would you want to do that?
Well,
no,
many of them. That's
most
kinda,
people. That's what most people are doing.
live.
They're being puppeted through this life.
He refused
Most people,
to be that kind of guy.
and most people in general in their life aren't standing for whatever it is that they believe in. They're just going with what's easy, what's simple, and that's why he said.
Oh, okay. He has a no lives matter, not all lives matter. Makes sense. Thank you, Milani. Thank you for the correction. Appreciate that.
But yeah, this was an awesome video, man. I mean, I couldn't have said it better from the beginning. From the beginning when he said that he won't keep his mouth shut.
He shouldn't have to.
No,
He shouldn't
absolutely
have to.
not.
He shouldn't have to.
And how people are saying we want to be equal. They're saying that, but they're speaking out of both sides of their mouth.
They don't
because
want
then
it,
they're
though.
bashing him.
They don't want that.
They're verbally abusing him, but saying we want to be equal. But they're putting him down.
That equality it only consists of what they determine. Based on their interpretation of what that is. It's not for everyone.
And I believe like he stands on the foundation that he built, and he understands the power of forgiveness. He put his guilt and his own shame from whatever he's gone through in his life in the beams of the foundation. And he etched it in there. He understands it's there. It's a pillar.
That was some serious lyrics.
It's a pillar it's a pillar that has helped to create and mold him into he's become today, but it's not the pathway that he walks on. He doesn't walk in guilt and shame every day. No, it's become part of the foundation of who he is. Like all of us, we've all done stuff that has taught us a lesson.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Not lesson living in it all day, every day. If you have guilt and shame in your life, it's time to reevaluate why.
Yeah.
Why do I still feel guilty? Why do I still feel shameful?
Yeah.
Why do we need the whole white population to feel guilty and shameful for slavery?
Yeah. And the thing is, I would like to say, based on Tom's music also, guys, just like my wife just kind of put it in a way, I just want to add to that. No matter what you've been through or gone through, use those experiences as a mean to build a solid foundation. Build your house on top of your pain, of your sorrows, your tears, your mistakes, whatever decision you've made, regardless how good or how bad it is. Use that as your mean to build a solid character to make a difference in our world today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't live in the past.
Don't.
Be a change maker. Stand for truth.
Yeah.
Don't be puppeted by anybody. Don't be puppeted. Don't allow people to give you the
forward.
narrative and just walk in it.
Forward.
And if you have to say I'm wrong, like we talked about ego, say I'm wrong and say I need to have a change thought process.
No problem.
And start to take those steps to gain it.
That's
start
right.
to dig deep.
I think they're ready for No Lives Matter.
Yes,
No Lives
we are.
Matter. Okay,
It's
guys,
time.
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm ready for this one. I don't think I have not heard this one.
Me neither. So this is
guys, this is our first reaction. We have not heard this, okay?
At all.
So let's go. I'm ready for this. So here we are. No Lives Matter.
Hip-hop diet is full of guys who cannot even rap. Media dividing us by colors, white or black. If you believe in Jesus, these days Christians get attacked.
That hit me in a special place here.
Talk about hitting the nail in a hard place, or is that how it's supposed to go?
In a short place.
In a short place. Listen, this is all they're creating: division, division, division. And these fake rappers. This is what I was talking about before. So you're upset about what Joe Rogan said or whatever his name is. But these rappers are out here talking crazy, talking violence, hatred, talking about women and demoralizing the black woman and from the way that they
sexualizing our young girls.
Oh my goodness, all this. But you have nothing to say about that. But he said the N-word so many years ago and quoted Biden saying the N-word, but somehow he got to be the president.
Well, it's no big deal. He's Mr. Biden. We got to protect his character.
It's president.
But anyone that we think don't line up with our views, we need to get rid of them. Well, anyway, yeah. One thing he said about Christian here I like is because oftentimes the way Christians are viewed through the Hollywood and everything, they look ridiculous, hypocritical. And I'm not saying they are not Christians. I'm not saying they are not Christians or like that. But it's the same kind of thing you're seeing. The same racial wall that says all white people are bad. It's the same thing they're saying all Christians are hypocrites. That's not true.
Let me tell you.
You have to have a balanced perspective on these things. There are hypocrites in the church.
Yep.
There are racists in the world. But don't think everybody's a hypocrite. I hope you guys don't think we are hypocrites. There are real good, loving
There are
Christians
who would see us responding to these videos and call us hypocrites because he had his middle fingers up. How could you watch something like that? That was immoral.
I've gotten attacked by me talking about the MacDonald in ways that I never thought I could. And all these attacks, by the way, came from the Christian world. They think you're a bad pastor, you're an evil pastor by talking about. I'm like, guys, I'm just standing for truth. I'm standing for. Here's three things that I stand for. I love truth. I love God. I love people, and I love Tom MacDonald.
Crazy. I thought he said three things.
That was the bonus, by the way.
That was a bonus thing. So truly, though, when you look at it, it's the same difference. It's the same thing. You cannot lump some Christians in a category. You cannot lump some whites or blacks in a category. And you have to understand, if your eyes are open, when they start to do this thing, when they start to make sure that people, Christians, this is a moral battle we're in. This is a morality versus immorality.
Yeah.
This is the war that we're in. And Tom MacDonald is saying, hey, I'm not standing for this. I'm not going to sit here and watch you try to pit me against my black people or pit me against my own people or make me feel guilty and shamed.
Yeah.
No, it's time to rise up out of this thought process and stop being puppeted around by people who want you to speak and act in a manner that continues division.
Thank you, Gia, for the love. We love you too. Appreciate that. Yeah, man, let's go back to Tom.
Okay.
This was amazing.
You don't hate police and everybody thinks you're whack. And everything's so connected. Black Lives Matter got so aggressive. White folks who agree can't support the message. Both sides go to war because they don't respect it. Our social climate from the global tension turned to total violence and a whole depression. We could unify and then I'll go against them, but we let them divide us with votes and elections. Hey, the music.
We could unify. You got to rewind that.
And go against them.
We can unify and go against them. He's calling for change. He's calling for a change mindset that will bring growth and unity. What else are people hearing?
This is psychological warfare.
So they're going to say all lives matter means, okay. So one thing that I heard that I thought was important during the whole Black Lives Matter, during that whole where it was really heavy with the George Floyd, is that saying that all lives matter is like seeing a house burning down and then here comes the fireman and saying, spray all the houses. You have to focus on the house that's burning. That's a true statement, right?
That makes sense.
That's true when you have a heightened incident that occurred. Okay, Focus on that fire. Put the fire out. Now move forward. No, they're trying to live in this fire. They're creating fires.
They love the fire.
They love the fire. So they
song,
keep putting out little sparks, and blowing on
the
them.
thing is, I reacted to a video yesterday by Burden World when he was addressing that. Like, which lives matters most? And I'm saying, like, is it the black man's life that matters more than no? How come the black man gets more attention when something happens to the black race? The black community goes crazy and riots. And Burden World was saying, in Macy's, you guys shared it with me. He said, riot for me. If I was a white man and I was a white man and I'm in the streets, I got a knee on my neck and I pass away, how come I get no attention? Put my name on your jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like, acknowledge me, say something for me. And the truth is, there is a level of inconsistency here, and also there's a level of, I call it societal hypocrisy and political inconsistency. Because it's one thing you promote an idea for a particular race and you make a stand, and I say, okay, I understand that. When the other race, the very same thing happened to them. We are just men, bleed the same. Just because in difference of skin color, you said this one does not get the same level of attention. Who makes these decisions? That's not how God views men. That's not how we're supposed to view each other. But whoever is doing this, they're using it for their own political, insidious, evil agenda. It's not really about people, not even the colored folks. It's about them and their power and their desire to control and govern the world. That is my issue.
What we need to be doing is, when there is a house burning, when there is a situation that happens, you focus on that, you deal with that, and you move forward. You don't lump sum, you don't categorize, you don't put all people in a box, because eventually you'll be put in a box and you'll see how it feels. They'll be put in a box and they'll see how it feels. But there's some boxes that they just want to keep people because it, just like my husband said, it's just all about power and control.
It surely is. Ultimately, that's what it's all about.
Both sides go to war because they don't respect it. Our social climate from the global tension turned to total violence and a whole depression. We could unify and then I'll go against them, but we let them divide us with votes and elections. Hey.
Letting them divide us is a choice. I just had to pause it and say that. He said, we let them divide us. That's because we, the people, have decided to stay in this mindset for whatever reason, whether it be fear, anxiety, financial gain, whatever, because the people know. People know that this is not right. People know. Some people know, and then other people are brainwashed. But either way, if there were more people like Tom MacDonald speaking out, calling for an awakening, then we wouldn't be in this situation. But this is a choice.
Yes, of course
we choose.
Of course it is. And artists like him doesn't get the attention. Even though you see 20 million views, that's nothing. Listen to some artists that are speaking nothing but garbage. 100 million something views, 2 billion something views. And what are they putting out? How are they helping our nation to grow? Zero. Anyway.
Hate has no race, period. Thank you, John Eccles.
You're right on
music
that.
We bump, all about shooting guns and doing drugs. Hey, whoa. The things that we want are promoted subliminally through the songs, like you need a fast car, you need designer clothes, you need a rap star to tell you to start popping pills.
Just what we said.
Live at the club to your bro.
But,
this is just what we were talking about.
Tom, you just took the word out of my mouth.
Exactly. We never heard the song. I never heard the song.
That's amazing.
This is exactly
First time reacting to this one.
This is exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So what is my daughter seeing? I'm sorry. Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion are not women that I want my daughter to emulate. I don't want her to think that she wants to look like them or act like them.
We're trying to raise children in
I don't have a problem with them. I have a problem with what they're presenting to the world as in their form and fashion.
And you can see the level of hypocrisy, that they themselves portray. Because while they're promoting this stuff to our daughters, they had a video on Twitter.
They don't let their kids watch
a video on Twitter while she was doing her thing live stream. Her daughter walks in, she closed the camera. Literally, she closed the camera and started acting like, hey, daughter. And I was like, oh, no. Wait a minute. You tell my daughter to be a stripper, promiscuous, expose her body and do all that. That's what you promote to our children. And we're trying to raise a Christian home. And we're having a hard enough time teaching them about the love of God. But you keep pulling them. You keep pulling them and you keep putting this stuff in their face. And they're getting attracted to that. And then your own daughter, you keep away from it. So that means obviously some of these artists that are promoting this kind of agenda, this kind of evil stuff, obviously they know very well what they're doing.
Exactly. They know exactly what they're doing. And the artists know as well. So they're just out here to promote this thing. But let me tell you, what happens in the dark will come to light. Their daughters will see. Their children will see. And it's not to sit here and say it's going to blow up in their face, but it's going to blow up in their face.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. And what Tom MacDonald is trying to do is to help people see the truth of what's happening.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what I was saying. We need to be attacking the music industry.
Yeah.
Seriously.
If you
and
really
all genres have foolishness in them. But let me tell you, there's something, because of who I'm around and where I'm at. The rap industry, the drill music, that stuff is just, it's filthy and it's disgusting. And then there's other subliminal stuff and other and rock and all this stuff. So there are so many. The music industry as a whole needs to be attacked.
Okay, by the way, guys, I'm going to turn the volume up. I'm reading your comments. Thank you for letting me know. I need to know those things because I don't know what's happening from this perspective. So I'm turning the volume up a little bit to make sure you guys are hearing this fully, okay? So let's do just that. All right, let's go. Volume's turned up.
So I just love that. This is what I say. We are on the same thought process because to me, I just think that what they're trying to feed our youth, our generations to come, is filthy and it's wretched. And Tom MacDonald just said that. And so thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
all.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Scary Wife. There are many other independent artists, and we want to check out more different independent artists. By the way, guys. So Tom MacDonald is the talk for the day, but eventually we're gonna start including different artists in this live
he
show.
has a song called Music Industry. What?
I reacted to that.
Oh, did you?
But we can react together, though. So let's look at that.
Sorry.
It's all controlled by the elites. Put fake news all over our screens, convincing the right to go fight with the left and distract from the fact it's each other we need. Divided by race and religion, segregated into teams. You a white supremacist. If you're not, I guess you Antifa.
Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now, no lives matter. If we do what the news wants, blood gon' splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter.
Freedom's dead if you have an opinion, take it back. Facts.
Freedom's dead if you have an opinion, take it back. Facts.
Let's hit the next one.
Sorry.
People hate the president. If you don't, then you trash.
People hate the president. If you don't, then you trash. Wow. Facts.
Indoctrinate the nation using news and mainstream rap.
Indoctrinate the nation using news and mainstream rap. Hello.
Facts.
Hello. I don't even know if this stuff needs to be elaborated on.
Do we need to say anything extra to that? Because don't we all know that?
Right?
Let's just be quiet here before they shut down this live stream. Okay, 148 viewers. Welcome. Thank you guys. Continue to share. Let's move.
The government abuses us. It's all part of the plan.
The plan. And that's what we need to understand. I don't understand how people don't see the plan. Through everything that's been happening over the past couple of years. This thing has run like a course. It was the race, then it was the disease, then it was what is it?
It seems like we're merging back into the race war here with this documentary. It's almost like they're sowing the seed here again.
The media is feeding fear and anxiety to the people, and the people are responding, but there is a mass of people who are not. And
some of us are not all. We're not all crazy.
The media, enough said, right?
Yeah.
The media is here.
Yes, right.
The media is here to promote fear and to promote anxiety and to push an agenda.
And don't get us wrong, some media do a good job.
Oh, of course. We're talking about, and here we go, lump summing.
Generally speaking, there are aspects of the media that are very obviously driven by an agenda to either separate, misinform, and cause this separation. And we need to filter the kind of stuff we listen to.
The media is $1 billion industry, multi-billion, maybe trillion, who knows? But that's a money-making market. So when you're talking about that, we look at what's been going on. Do you see any promotion for unity? Or do you only see division?
Yeah.
Typically.
Yeah.
I mean, and so here we go. We can't speak in the all sense. But generally speaking, primary, as far as the majority of what we're seeing when it comes to media, when it comes to the music industry, we're seeing death, violence.
Who's here? Roque is here.
The mainstream media. Good point, Roque. Mainstream media is being paid
That's right.
to promote division.
Amen. Let's go back to Tom. All right, guys, brace yourself. It seems like it's only going to get better from here.
It's so confusing. Black Lives Matter is a valuable.
I need to hear that part again.
Black Lives Matter is a valuable movement.
It's all part of the plan. And it's so confused. And if you don't, then you in opinion. Lives matter. Freedom's dead. If you have an opinion, take it back. Facts. People hate the president. If you don't, then you trash. Facts. Indoctrinate the nation using news and mainstream rap. Facts. The government abuses us. It's all part of the plan. And it's so confusing. Black Lives Matter is a valuable movement, but all lives matter ain't racist or stupid. It's non-black humans who don't feel included.
It's non-black humans who don't feel included. What's wrong with saying... I get, again, it goes back to that fire burning one house, focus on that house. Once you move from that house, what? Then no one can still say anything? Then we have that documentary that's coming out. White people, you're being victimized. Like all of that disrespect.
Wow.
That's disrespectful.
It surely
is it or is it not? I'm not white, but I can see the disrespect that's coming through there. I can see the tyrant of trying to just make people, like white people, like, oh gosh, I'm so tired of hearing you saying you're victimized. Was it wrong? Is there a lot of stuff that's wrong? Yes. But what is the point?
All we have to do is flip.
What is the purpose?
Just flip the
it's
table.
Motive.
All they have to do is flip the table. And I'm so glad.
It's motive.
I'm so glad Jesus is not like men. I'm so glad. Because he said, treat your neighbors as yourself. If you simply flip the table here in the concept they're putting out, and you say, Caucasian folks, like I've said before, doing this to a black race, you know, all hell will break loose.
This was released when Trump was president, but it still applies. Agreed.
Oh my goodness.
I figured that.
You know,
it's kind of interesting. I'm glad.
Truth doesn't get old, does it?
So this was released when Trump was president. And so what it is like, if you don't support one, then you're either a black lover or you're a white lover. You get what I mean?
They have titles for that. You guys probably know.
Yeah. So,
for those type of people.
And so all those different things. So what it is that if you didn't hate the president, then you hated. You get what I'm saying? I don't even know how to explain it, but I understand.
No, well, so you can't not oppose what the general narrative is. You can't have that freedom of conscience. And this is not very Christian, by the way, guys. It's not right.
No.
Even Jesus, even not to go too deep into some spiritual stuff here, even Jesus, when he was on earth, there was a time when they wanted to attack him because he was rejected because he went to a town and the Samaritan didn't actually welcome him. Mm-hmm. And his disciples were like, can we call fire to burn these guys? And Jesus was like, listen, man, I am not of that spirit. Because somebody disagrees with me doesn't necessarily mean I have the right to butcher them and tear them down. That's not really the way we're supposed to live. It's just the fact you can disagree with me. I can learn from you disagreeing with me. I can be a better person to the disagreement. So that idea of you not being able to have those free thoughts and free thinkers, to me, is very concerning, man. It's not very Christian. It's not even American.
Chuck said they're losing the mask war, so they're going back to race. Yeah, like race is just always, it's like the fallback drama that they can always go to create some stir up and something. Like it's like drama. Here's what we fall back on. Mm-hmm. Like it's always something racial, and it's
almost like they can build so many narratives, so many stories on that foundation.
Yeah, and the thing is, you just so the media tells the narrative, not the news. Mike and the Dad Crosby. You need snowflakes. What do you think they're?
Oh, snowflakes.
Why do you think they're trying to bring down Joe Rogan?
Well, part of the issue is speech. They just don't like the way he talks.
Exactly.
That the fact he conflicts with their views.
I was looking for whatever comment Mike the Crosby had said at John, and he said he was a Trump supporter. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, but
okay, Gia. Tom just emailed you and said he will check it out. Okay,
that's awesome.
Wow, good to hear.
Thank you. But so I think then this is what we have to understand. What we're being fed, what our children are being fed. At what point do we look to the future with the glasses of, okay, where is this all heading?
Oh, listen. Hey, Joe Linden, listen, genocide and incitement. If you ever
inciting,
if you ever studied,
genocide.
if you never studied about the story of the genocide and everything, especially the one in Africa, the Hutus and the Tutsis, how it was excited, they were using the media to tell one class of African that this other class were bad. And eventually, what did the Hutus and the Tutsis do? They got machetes and they went from home to home and killed their fellow brethren.
Yep.
Husbands and wives were tearing each other apart, chopping each other's head off. What was the reason? The media kept on telling them, these guys are evil, these guys are wrong, these guys are bad, and eventually
they fed them the narrative
responded
and they
to
responded
that.
in that.
And that
so this is why someone had said earlier, a civil war, they're trying to create a civil war even on our own home territory again. I I can believe that. Don't ask me for facts of what it is that I read and saw, but just the simple what it's looking like here. We're constantly in a war of some sort. There's always conflict on the news between race. There's always some message being portrayed that someone's wrong, and then the lack of substance that they are feeding humanity right now. It's debilitating.
Yeah.
And so people are just left with this thought process that is so empty and void of anything fruitful. Anything that actually matters.
It's crazy. By the way, guys, we have several reactions.
They want to silence us who don't want to unite and stand in freedom for us all.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so we have many
programming.
reactions.
That's the word. Yes, they are pre-programming us and our future generations to be self-centered, self-minded, division-minded, to be hateful-minded, so that way they can keep putting out conflicts to keep people sick. Because also, you got to remember, the health industry is huge. Sick people, sick-minded people need meds.
Yeah, sick people worth money.
Sick people are worth billions of dollars.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Quickly, I do have many other McDonald's reactions in here. So you need to subscribe. Make sure you click the notification bell and go check out the playlist that says Star McDonald. So this is actually number 19. So check it out. We got something going on here. So I like what I love her mindset. What's her name? Testimistic. She said, never forget it's called programming for a reason.
Yep, that's what I was saying. They're programming the minds and people are just falling for it. That's what I don't understand. Like, to me, it's just so obvious. But fine. It's obvious to some of us, but not to all of us. But here's what we need to do then. What do we do with the truth that's been revealed?
Roque says, it's like social mental disorder.
Yeah. Social mental disorder.
Perfectly put.
I have been called everything because I've been called everything because I was a Trump supporter. Racist, transphobic, xenophobic.
Who cares?
This country.
The fact you chose to support Trump, that's your business. You have the right to do just that. And this is the idea that I'm against.
People voted for Obama just because he was black. They didn't do research.
And there was some stuff there that I could honestly say, I'll stay quiet on that. Anyway. Oh boy, let's go back. We need to break this.
Valuable movement, but all lives matter ain't racist or stupid. It's non-black humans who don't feel included. All colors fall under laws to govern the whole country and we all suffer. We're all broken, nobody recovers until we accept that we're all brothers. Hey, the music we make, all about.
Nobody recovers until we all accept that we're all brothers. Until we accept that we're all brothers. Nobody recovers. That's a powerful statement. This is what we have to understand. Nothing is going to change until people start to fight against the narrative being pushed, being programmed into our minds. Thank you for Tessimistic saying about the programming. Nothing's going to change. And we have to fight against that. We have to think about our kids, our grandkids, the future. So the key is, what do all of us have to do? What is our part? What is our role to play in supporting Tom MacDonald and those who are like him, who have the same thought process? What do we do next? It's not enough just to react to his videos. Now we have to start saying, what can we do to bring about real change?
And this is why, guys, we need you to stand with us. For those who are supporting with the super chats, we thank you. We appreciate you because we want to take these discussions to the next level because that's what Tom wants. And guess what? We for that because when it comes to loving people, promoting truth, that's what we stand for. We are Christians and that's the stuff we are driven to do. So the thing is, we're going to need you to stand with us, support this channel as much as you can, show us some love so that we can build a good enough studio here to take things to the next level.
The key is, this is ripple effect. Tom threw the stone, right? It hit the water and you see the ripple. This is part of the ripple effect. Not just our channel, not just everything, not just everyone else's reaction videos. But we gotta keep throwing stones. We have to keep throwing stones because what happens to that ripple when you throw one stone? It just dissipates. We gotta start throwing stones and boulders so that we actually make waves.
We gotta stand for the truth, guys.
It's like what he said in that first song. He said, "Calm storms don't make skilled sailors." Basically, right? So we have to understand, like, we have to start making waves. And how do we do that? I'm really asking the question.
Yeah.
Because we can have discussions, but what do we need to go out and do to start fighting against the music industry, the mainstream media? What do we have to do as a people to really get his thought process to make it become a change process? What can we do?
That's the question.
And share with us.
That's the same question Laura Woodton just asked here. Same question she just asked. He said, so how we bring about change? And that's part of the discussion.
And that's our goal. So, and it's each one reach one. So maybe while as a general whole, knowing the word of God and knowing that things aren't necessarily going to change as a whole, we're not going to all walk around singing Kumbaya one day. But what can we do, each one reach one? What can we do to reach our community? What can we do to reach the people who we're closest linked to, who we see falling for this horrific narrative that's being shoved down our throats?
Amen. Linda Johnson, Jesus took up the cross and was crucified. So we don't have it. Repent with love in your heart is what I try to live.
That's awesome.
Amen. All right, guys, let's bring Tom MacDonald Twin in.
About big booties and getting paid. Hey, whoa. We watch the news and it fills up our brains with violence and riots and race. Like this is a race war. You need to hate more. Get what you came for. You need some songs about Xanax and violence so you can escape more. What a vicious cycle.
Okay, so the medication now that's supposed to be helping the brain increase the positive hormone levels is really putting people in a numb state of condition where they can barely think for themselves because they've got, a little bit of drool. Do I think medication is important? Yes. I'm a nurse. Do I think that medication was created for real issues? Absolutely. But I always say, look at grain. Look at the grain. You have grain that they made, and they made good wholesome bread, and then they went and made donuts. I mean, we all love donuts. Maybe not all of us, but they take a good thing and they make it bad. That's the long and short of it, right? Media, all these things, they're great avenues to reach people, but they have turned it into war zones to put in people their debased way of thinking and to cause people to have a perspective that doesn't bring enlightenment and it doesn't bring forth change. So the same with medication. We have to be very careful. It's not that you might not need medication to go through a situation, through a process, or but the way that they're just promoting this stuff, medical marijuana, I don't see a problem with medical marijuana, but now they're promoting it in use. We have all these vape pens, so we have all this stuff. So we have to understand what the government is signing off on as helpful, holistic healing can actually be very like dumbing down the minds.
Especially when it is supported by the very other companies. They're getting support from companies such as the tobacco company, all these companies that are doing the very thing. So while they're promoting the thing, is because there's money in there. There's a factor of control. There are other selfish motives behind that. So you can understand why they do the things they do. So
that they're promoting the painkillers, the medication, and all these different things, which have their purpose. Everything has its purpose. Some people really do deal with anxiety. So I don't say quit your meds. And some people really do have schizophrenia and these different things that are happening out here. But we have to understand that they are trying to push people. Because when you understand how much money the world makes off of the medical industry, like it's insane. It's insane. But it's very important to stop and to just say, like, okay, what am I for? What am I not for? Am I being part of the change process for good, or am I helping to work against what we should be fighting for?
And by the way, guys, and on the next live streams that we do, we're gonna have a little. I'm going to call it health nugget, because we believe strongly in taking care of yourself.
I really got to look into this $30 million of crack pipes. I mean, that's huge.
That's something I need to look myself. So, guys, let's bring this to a close. It's 2 hours in there.
We can't break away from, they control the culture, they control the paper, they're indoctrinating a whole generation till the patriots start to hate the nation. The music we love make us dumb and addicted. The news that we watch is brainwashing the children. The viruses, riots, and racist conditions ain't problems.
We don't need to speak to it.
Tom,
he's just hitting the nail on the head in the short place.
Isn't that what we've been saying here?
This is over and over. And what we need to understand is everything he's saying, even though it's being a repeated mantra, it's exactly what people need to hear, because I've read that it takes 10,000 times to hear something once for it to really sink in. So keep sharing,
There's
keep
a song
talking.
called Sad Rappers. Yeah, we need to react to that.
It's wild.
Because he's talking about the music industry and what
it's so important.
What they're doing.
But I mean, what he's saying is so on point. I can't get enough of it.
It's so good.
There's symptoms of life in the system.
Let me hear that.
Yeah,
children, the viruses, riots, and racist conditions ain't problems. They're symptoms of life in the system.
Conditioning us.
Screaming from the
conditioned to life in the system. Let me tell you.
These are symptoms?
No, I think he said conditions.
Riots and racist conditions ain't problems, they're symptoms of life in the system.
Symptoms of life in the system. Hold on.
Dumb and addicted. The news that we watch is brainwashing the children. The viruses, riots, and racist conditions ain't problems, they're symptoms of life in the system.
Oh, they ain't problems, they're symptoms of life in the system. And this system, life in this system, is dumbing down our generations to come, dumbing down adults, keeping people in fear, keeping people from standing for the truth that they have. And what happens is, the problem with truth is when it's revealed to you, if you fight against it for so long, it leaves you. Mercy. And then you just start to walk in this monotonous life of being not having truth. You just walk in it.
Tanya said I could sit here all day listening to Pastor James and Andrea.
Seriously. So you have to be very careful. When you hear something, you hear truth, you better start to say to yourself, I need to hold on to this and grab it and capture it in my heart.
That's right.
Because you will just brush it off. You keep brushing it off, eventually it's not going to come to you anymore. And you're just going to be a part of the problem. And that's what a lot of our people are. Everybody's not part of the agenda who's in a role of the agenda that's being put forth. They're not all part of it. A lot of them have blinders on, and they are clueless to what they're doing, being puppeted.
And that's what
Tommy's
trying
fed.
to do with his music.
They're
He's
being
trying
fed
to open the eyes a little bit. Like, look at the real side of the story. Like, you're not getting the whole thing. It's lopsided, man. The truth, truth is inconsistent. And in his song, he's just hoping to take the mind from that base way of thinking to that uttermost way of thinking, if I may use that.
They are taking, absolutely. I lost my train of thought, but yes, let's go. So it's so important.
Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now, no lives matter. If we do what the news wants, blood gon' splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter.
Turn us on each other until no lives matter, period.
Mercy. So this is not an attack on black people or white people so much. This is an attack on humanity as a whole.
Music will make you dumb. The media makes you hate. And they control them both. There ain't no escape. They put the world in a state of chaos. Economy crashing and massive layoffs. Black against white, or it's left versus right. Divide and conquer and control is the payoff.
Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other.
Wow.
It's the same thing. There's nothing new to say. But thank you, Tom, for bringing forth exactly what it is that the people need to hear. Because we need to hear it, and you need to not just move forward, just react to it. You need to start to say, what can I do to push forth the change in the system? And we need to share with people, even if it's going to build conflict in family. Mm-hmm. It's going to build conflict in our society, in our communities, in our children's. And we're going to have some conflict in the house if we start shutting off the mainstream media.
By the way, we have 160 people watching. Thank you, guys. Thanks for sharing. Thank you for being here.
You asked what do we do? The answer is easy but hard to do. Stand together as one race. Understandable. But so what are the steps that we need to take to get there to stand together as one race? Mm-hmm. Like, where do we have the first meeting? Mm-hmm. Where do we have the first connection where we start to show the world through the mainstream media? Because that's where we have to counteract. Let me tell you, mainstream media, billboards, all this stuff, they have no problem giving immorality as the fuel to feed America. They have no problem giving this empty, debased viewpoint and this race wars and riots and fighting and the chaos that they're instilling with the building anxiety because there's no money. Now there's a whole bunch of jobs, and then raise the pay and all this stuff, having people in a roller coaster of anxiety and fear. Where's my next job going to come from? People who lost jobs versus people who are trying to just to maintain the job and all this different stuff that's happening, all the chaos.
Mm-hmm. So Scary Wife, we have to remain talking about how we bring about change. We have to remain in the strength of the army of God, for we do wrestle against flesh and blood. I love that spiritual aspect of that song, that answer as well. Okay, it's already causing conflict in my.
It starts at the local levels.
In my Christian family, we are in tough times. Yes, we are. We are in tough times. I believe we are living in the final days.
We start here.
It's reflecting. It's reflecting in right here. So we're reading your comments now, guys.
Mike and the Dad Crosby, steps taken. We all need to clean up our own house first. Absolutely. So we need to shut off the TVs, start fueling our children so that when they go out there and talking, having conversation at home. You know, it's so funny because I was just telling James a while ago, like, I want to start having real conversation with our kids and like a round table type of thing. Yeah. So where we get our kids involved and talking about, well, what do you think when you see this? Because this is what the media is feeding you. I can't keep my kids from seeing what the rap industry and what all this stuff is that's being fed, because it's just out there. You know, literally, you would have to go and live remotely.
Yeah.
To be able to hide them from the media. But we need to have discussions. And thank you, Mike, for saying that. We need to have discussions at home with our kids. We can't let them sit in their room while we Facebook, we this, we that. We can't let them sit in their room while we live life. And we need to make sure that we're educating our children and each other and ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, guys, the mind has to be awakened. We have to think higher. We have to see that we have some real issues going on here. And we can't dumb down. And I think Tom, what he's saying here very clearly, I understand Tom.
Like, people are walking around foolish and blind. They don't even see. It's like a lot of people literally are in darkness. They are. And we have been called to be light bearers.
That's right.
Tom has been called to be a light bearer, and he's doing what his calling is. And we have to keep that light flaming. We have to keep the ripple effect going. We have to keep lighting.
Take it to the next level.
Lighting, and set this world ablaze.
I'm glad for that answer, friends. Take it to the next level. It starts in our own home.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, I want to take it deeper. It starts in our own heart. Okay, so we can come back to that. Let's listen to the end of the song.
From the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now. No lives matter. If we do what the news wants, blood gon' splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter.
Nova again. Rockefeller. That's his girl. She did it again.
You know what? Jumping back to the other song. So I never really seen Tom MacDonald until this video where I really can see his face. So when he said judging the engine by its paint, I can see where he's saying, like, people are looking, one aspect of it, one layer of it is looking at him and seeing his face, his tattoos, his piercings, his hair, all of that, and judging the substance that's within him and saying he's just this wild person or whatever. This man is so hardcore full of substance, more than pastors and preachers and teachers and professors.
In many cases.
And so, because he understands the value of the mind and fueling it to have thoughts that go beyond the superficiality of what people want to be, what they're trying to make people see and to know. I mean, this man right here, based upon his look, people might say a lot of different things about him. But wow, I'm like, wow, it just hit me when I'm sitting there looking at him. And I said, oh, wow, judging a engine by its paint job.
Mercy.
Wow.
Now, listen, guys, listen. The thing is, I want to use a quotation here, and then we're going to transition to the biblical perspective. Tom, again, you hit the nail right on top of the head of the nail. I mean, you hit the hammer on top of the top of the nail. So you got the point. So, guys, a powerful song.
It's so powerful.
Powerful song. And I think as a culture, as a people, we need to rethink the way we think, because literally we have been either misled or deceived. Now, look at this, guys. This is a quotation coming from George Orwell. This is an old one, an oldie. This is what he said. I love this. He said, "In a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act."
We are in a time of deceit, people.
This is it, friends. We're in a time of deceit. Tom is not saying anything new here. He's just talking about truth. He's talking about facts. He's just laying it. But the thing is, the deception is so deep. The misinformation is so broad. The misconceptions are so all over the place. So Tom sounds like he's saying something broad and grand, but really he's not. He's just trying to bring the mind back to what it's supposed to be. That's all. And the thing is, he's just doing a really good job at that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. So, guys, reading your comments here. We're going to bring this to a close. We're going to change it to our biblical perspective now. Because, friends, I think it's time for us to consider this other side of the truth, and in the light of what the Bible says, guys. And again, by the way, we appreciate your comments. We love the discussion. We appreciate the support. We love the songs. We are going to react to If I Was Black. And there's also another song you guys suggested, either Fake Rogue or whichever one it is. You let us know in the comment. We're going to read the comments after this. So we're going to pick up a song from that. 2 songs for the next reactions as well. And here's the thing I wanted to share with you guys.
What is a SJW? Sandra Hecos. Children are being taught to be SJWs but can't read, think, or ask questions. That's huge. So if someone can put that in the chat, just so I know what that is. Be prepared for war. When good people unite with peace and love, they will be vilified. Exactly. Example, the Freedom Convoy reality versus the media claims. Exactly. Exactly. Be prepared for war.
Yeah. Wow. All right, guys. Biblical perspective time.
Rock
Love
and
it.
roll. Yeah. Now
listen to this one, guys. This one is coming here as we bring this to a close. It's coming from Ephesians chapter 5, verse 17. We are reading from verses 16 to 17. Look what it says. You're talking about last day, final days, end times, time to wake up, time to know what we need to do. I find that this verse has an answer for us we can work with here. It says, see that you walk circumspectly. Not as fools. Don't be foolish, but be wise. What should we do? Redeeming the time. In other words, stop wasting your time. Why? Because the days are evil. It's not done. Yeah. But wherefore, be not unwise, but understanding. Here is the answer, guys. What the will of the Lord is.
That's awesome.
So how are we supposed to walk in these final days? You have to walk circumspectly. And that means you have to walk with the knowledge of the love and the will of God. That's really what it is, if I may summarize that. And he says, don't be foolish in the process.
And he says, redeeming the time. And that's what Tom MacDonald is doing. Tom MacDonald knew what he did in his lifetime, and he understood how important it was to bring about change. And he's doing it by any means necessary for him. And by his means, his passion is rap. Yeah. His passion is being able to speak musically. And he's doing that. He's redeeming the time because the days are evil. That's right. He understands this so deeply, and he repeats this over and over and over again in his message through music. And he said, wherefore, and that, just like the verse says, walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. That's exactly what he's trying to do.
That's right.
He's trying to take people from this foolish, blinded mindset of living, thinking, being, and he's trying to cause them to have wisdom as their foundation of how they propel forward in life. And he's saying, you can do it. Yeah. I did this. That song we first reacted to, he said, I did this. I built this. I did that. He pulled himself out of the foolishness of life. Yep. And then he built his foundation on wisdom.
That's right.
And forgiving himself and being able
what Tom does in his music, you can see he's not thinking from this box, like you said. He doesn't have his blinders on. He steps out of the stage and he looks over and he says, that's what it is, that's what it is, that's what it is. So he's able to kind of have a good picture of what is really going on rather than just what they're telling him. So this idea of thinking that way is actually very scriptural, very biblical as well. So you have to become a free thinker. Think for yourself. Does it make sense? Ask questions. Understand the will of God. Because once you understand the will of God, majority of this, without me talking to my wife, we already had the same mindset. And part of the reason why we read the Bible, we study the scripture, and we understand the will. So it's not like we don't listen to the news and stuff. We do, but we do it through the lenses of our belief system. And we're able to make sense of what is true and what is not. We can think for ourselves. And that's why we can understand where Tom is coming from. Because we have a spiritual perspective in the back of our mind, so we can filter things differently.
And Tom is the same way. He's no different, believe it or not. He has a mindset and a perspective that goes hand in hand with what God is calling all people to do. He has a mindset and a perspective that runs deeper than just superficiality. It runs to the core of the human heart, which is love. And God is love. So he understands that. And the verse that it says is, he that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. Amen. And that is what Tom's basis is. There is no reason for disunity. We need to be unified.
That's right.
That brings unification means love. Unification means accepting each other and understanding where each other is coming from, but not trying to debase and not trying to put people down and to cause people to feel like they are nothing, or you ought to be ashamed for what happened how many years ago, or you need to follow this narrative in order to be seen and to be liked and to be accepted. No, he said, I follow the narrative that my heart was moved to follow. The motive of my heart And in doing so, look at where he got himself. And he didn't go out and buy riches and fame. No. He bought houses. He bought things of substance. So he's jam-packed full of substance. And that's exactly what he's trying to give to the people.
Very
knowledgeable. And in doing so, that creates change, that creates love, and that means that he is actually living the godly life, the godly character, which is what God calls us to do.
Yeah. Wow.
It's awesome.
Very awesome.
Thank you,
by
Tom.
the way, I'm looking at that verse you quoted here, Debbie Harkins. Thank you for that. I have fought a good fight. I've finished my course. I have kept the faith.
And what did he say? When God shakes my hand, congratulate.
Yeah, congratulate.
He said, celebrate me.
Thank you.
He said, celebrate.
So, guys, thank you so much. We are so excited. Thank you for what thank you for sticking with us here. This is a long one because, again, guys, I couldn't get enough. I didn't want to stop the video so much, but how could you not?
I know.
It's just so good.
Powerful.
So I'm gonna have to do some
One
cutting here.
One thing I love that I didn't say was that I love how he had a different depiction from his different outfits.
Yeah.
Of what's happening in society. He had the flower. He had the army. He had the rap industry type of wear on, and then he had the flag with the tank top, the white tank top. All of that stuff was also for the mind, for the visual.
Very intentional.
I mean, he's so good at making sure that he pulls all the pieces together to connect what he's trying to portray, or what he's trying to get us to see.
All right. Thank you, JCIBME. Thank you for your love. Thank you for the support as well. So, guys, thank you for sticking with us here. This was amazing. We want to do more of these as often as possible. Thank you for the super chats also, all of you. And thank you for taking the time to stick with us. I hope we've learned something today. I hope this discussion wasn't in vain. I hope you can go from here and say, you know what? I'm going to do something different. I'm going to love my neighbors differently. I'm going to forgive the person that I had an issue with.
To your kids,
I'm going to walk differently. Maybe you're going to say, I'm going to read my Bible more, right? I'm going to think about God differently. I'm going to pray for Tom or something like that. So maybe I'm going to listen to more of his music so I can learn something. So whatever it is you choose to do from this point forward, as long as something positive, that is the goal of us sitting here talking to you.
Tessimistic said, the mind can change when you change your mind. And thank you all for the birthday love. Thank you for your time. It's been a long time, 2.5 hours. Wow. So I am just so grateful to have been able to be a part of, I call Tom a light bearer. I call him all kinds of things. A revolutionary was my first name. I call him the Enlightenment. And today I'm calling him the light bearer. I am so grateful to have been able to be a part of that.
Absolutely.
Because this is just, I mean, hearing these two songs was so powerful for me because it helps me to raise my own children and to think about how I see things and how I portray things, because I was very much so, you can do it if you put your mind to it.
Yeah.
Then I became very like, okay, yeah, there is systemic racism. And now, while I have I'm merging to have a balanced viewpoint on race in America and race in this world. And I understand what it means to look at people one-on-one. This is what happened with you. This is how you need to be dealt with. We're not looking in generalities.
No.
There are general situations that do happen that you may have to focus on a group of people. And that group of people is exacted to that specific group of people. There are other branches out, just like with what we're dealing with through the mainstream media and through the music industry. There's bigger people who are really feeding and fueling the fires that come down through our media, through our music industry, that we have to focus on, that we have to also get to those people. But again, you get to that person. So we're not lump summing anyone anymore into categories. We're moving forward from that. And it starts with each one. I love what someone said in the comment. Each one, reach one, each one, teach one, reach one.
Amen.
So teaching was the part, because usually they just say each one, reach one, but teach one.
I see your comment, Cheryl. Andrea, your spirit is strong and sweet. She is. She's a wonderful woman.
Thank you.
Scary wife, your channel will soon be a light for many. Thank you, guys. Looking forward to the next round. Guys, it's coming up soon. I will let you know. Me and my wife will do some talking, and we'll let you know where we go from there. Hey, again, happy birthday. I'm going to try to spend some time with my lady friend here. You owe me a hug, girl.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you.
I love you too.
Guys, I wish I could give you a virtual, spiritual hug. I want to, once again, thank you for the love. Thank you for the content. Thank you for Tom MacDonald. But last but not least, thank you for Jesus. And thank you for Hangover
I'm part of the Hangover gang. He don't even know I'm later than him, but I'm telling you what.
I'm working.
Hangover gang for life.
I'm a little slow here. Okay, I'm a little slow and old. So thank you, Hangover gang for life. I'm really glad that you guys are here. Thank you once again.
Everybody.
If Tom could watch this, thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
We get it. We got you. We understand
40s.
you. 40s. All right. God bless you all. And as always, look unto Jesus, guys, and live by faith. We're going to continue to talk below. I'm going to read your comments. You're going to get some thumbs up and some hearts. That means we are paying attention.
Can we get one more firebomb drop for Tom MacDonald?
Yes.
Come on, just throw the fire in the chat room, guys.
Some fires in the chat room
throw some fire in the chat room. Thank you, Tom. You have lit a fire, and the fire will not go out even when the days pass. And when your fishing line is clipped off, we are still going to be promoting.
We're gonna be talking
I'm still here. I don't know if I'll still be here. How old is Tom?
He's young. He's in his 30s.
Okay, so I should be gone before him, technically speaking. I love what one person said. You don't know if you're young or old because you don't know your last day. So that 80-year-old could be very old because could be very young because they're going to live to 90, and the 20-year-old could be actually very old because their last day is going to be at like 23.
Amen.
So just live each day as if it's your last. Fire in the chat room. Fire in the chat room. Yes.
And that's the fire we're sending here virtually to Tom. And the fire we're sending for you.
Keep the fire going. Keep your flame going, Tom. That's our words of support to you. Keep your fire. Keep your flame. I know you already are, but why not hear it again?
By the way, I'm 36 years old, guys. The new subscribers, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, he's younger than me. That's okay, though.
That's my girl.
But yes, keep the fire. Keep the fire going, Tom. We can't wait to hear whatever's coming out next. I still have a whole list of music to listen to from you. But what I've heard, I have not been strayed from your belief system, and I just thank you for enlightening me.
Tom has yet to disappoint me. Seriously, I have yet to hear something. I'm like, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, like
I haven't seen that. Maybe I'm too naive. Maybe I'm too dull. Maybe because I have blinders on, I guess. But for me,
as far as the substance content,
when it comes to substance and truth, content, relatable messages, these brothers speaking to my heart. And you guys can say the same as
write down balloons. So we need to know this balloons.
All right. So guys,
thank you all.
I'll let you know when the next one is coming. I'll make a short video announcing it because we work different schedules, but we're gonna figure things out, and we will see you again. Once again, God bless you all. Thank you for the love. We'll talk below. Take care.
Thank you for the birthday love.
And have a good one.
You too. I'm saying you too to you. Bye. God bless you guys.
Bye.